Ayo, an all right. I had to give three all rights because there was three O's. Exploding Heads Horror Movie Podcast, episode 177. Welcome to it. Here we are.
It feels like it's been a while. I don't know why.
It has been a while. Well, because we haven't recorded in over 2 weeks, no?
Yeah, I guess it's been 3 weeks.
Peek behind the curtain.
3
3
weeks.
weeks even.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I had those 2 weekends of crazy. Well, it was Mother's Day, and we went to a buffet thing, or which was weird. I thought buffets were done, but it's like this hall, so it was like a Mother's Day brunch, and they do a buffet style. But I thought buffets were a dunzy because of COVID.
You would think. Well, I'll tell you what,
back.
I got COVID because of a buffet, which I never do, but it was a breakfast buffet, and nobody was there, and it was a little fucking thing. We went to the dinner the night before.
Was this initially, or you got COVID again?
January 13th.
Oh, when you got it. Okay.
When I got it. We went to dinner the night before, woke up the next morning, and they had one of those breakfast buffets. And I just had whatever the hell. I had bacon, toast, or some shit. But I mean, in that, I've been motherfucking buffet.
Toast? Was it Christmas?
I wonder if I did have toast. Interesting. But that's what I contend.
Interesting. I love it. You throw interesting. I wonder if I had toast. Interesting.
It was I got to ask the wife. Maybe she'll remember. No, probably not. But I believe it had to be a buffet because they're the dirtiest things in the world. They were dirty years before. With COVID, they're more dirty. There's no way. Yeah. There's no way now, and especially now in my mind, thinking that's how I got it. There's no way I'm touching one. All right, if I go to a wedding and it's buffet style, fuck you. Not that I'm not going to weddings anymore. I am going to one. I have to go to a wedding this June. It's the kind of wedding that I can't say no to because these are people that we had seen every Christmas Eve and every Thanksgiving for years until 2 years ago when everything got too big plus COVID, and it was just we were running out of room because the kids kept having kids and this and that and everything else, and so you know what I mean. Their family got too big. It used to be one thing, it got shortened to another, and then now it's expanding to the point that it's like, well, there's a lot of people here. And honestly, that's fine because I don't want to go anywhere anyway. So I have Christmas Eve at my house now. And I go to my mother's for Thanksgiving, and it's a hop, skip, and a jump freaking right down the street. So you know what? Good. So that's all good. However, out of respect, I have to go to this wedding. But I'm telling you, after this wedding, and it's an outside wedding too, which is good, the perception. So that's cool. But it's like I've told my mother and my father, and they honestly, those are the only people I'm worried about. I don't give a fuck what my family thinks about me, because because it's like, listen, I'm going to tell them, and there will be some instances when I call them on the phone and say, hey, listen, I want you to know why I'm not coming to the wedding. I had a very bad bout with COVID. It was freaking 6 weeks plus. I am afraid of getting it again, and what could happen. I'm not getting any younger. I don't know. So because this happened to me, I don't go anywhere, and a wedding is like one of the last places.
You're way nicer than I am. Hey, we've talked about, I don't know if you remember, we actually talked about this on, I think a previous episode.
About the wedding thing?
About going to weddings, yeah.
Okay, well.
So, yeah, but to answer that, last year, when things were just starting to kind of open up and they weren't too sure, one of my second cousins got married. So, I'm sorry, I don't want to go to second cousin weddings. I'm not going to invite them to my daughter's wedding if and when she gets married, or my other daughter's wedding if and when she gets married, or my son's if he gets married. I'm just saying, I will not put that pressure on anybody from that side of the family. And I don't think I should be expected to go. I don't even respond anymore. Sorry, Mom. My mom's like, did you RSVP? Yes or no? I'm like, yeah, I did. Never got in the mail. I'm sorry if it comes across as a prick. I just can't. I'm no, man. And then the funniest part of all this is that there wasn't even really a wedding because I think everything got locked down again. So there was really kind of just looking for gifts. And I understand they're young. I was young. I get it. But again, I've gone to my cousin's weddings. I get, but not when it's now second and third cousins and all this shit. No way. So I'm with you, but I'm much colder. I will give no explanation. I just won't respond. That's my way of doing things. I can't.
Well,
no conflict.
Wow. That's okay. See, like I'm saying, I'm not going to call for everyone, but if it's like somebody like my niece or my nephew or something like that, if there's any of that left that haven't, but there are. Yeah, my two nieces haven't been married, 3. So, I mean, these days are going to come. I don't want to go, but in those cases, I want to call and say, listen, this is the reason why. But here's the best part. They actually don't give a shit. They're going to make out. You're going to give them money and not go and eat the food that they've paid for. So, if anything, they should be happy. Don't you think? Because it's like I say this, if you give a C note, if you go to a wedding, and I don't know if nowadays it's different, but because of inflation. But I mean, if you give somebody $100 in a card, well, seriously, $100 doesn't go as far as it used to right now, especially in the States. So now, if you give somebody a card with $100 in it, which typically is what people did, now I go to a wedding, I give somebody $100, and I take me, my wife, and my daughter, they're losing money. I don't give a fuck.
Well, that was always sort of the Italian way of looking at it. You're spending X amount, so you should give this so that you're covering yourself at the very least, and maybe giving a little bit more. And some Italians gave even a little bit more. It became money. I'm like, my wife's like, money? I'm like, yeah, that's what Italians give. You're not going to get a toaster from my uncle. It's just not going to be like that.
That's what the shower's for.
Yeah, or whatever. You're going to get all these envelopes of money, right, wrong, whatever. That's what it is. But I get it. If I'm invited, I bring in a gift. No questions asked. But if I'm not invited, I think that the thought process is, if I'm invited and I don't want to go, I think you're still supposed to send a gift. I'm saying no. I take a firm stance. No, I do not want. That's why I'm saying don't invite me, because now I feel obligated to give a gift. So I just said nope. I'm not responding. It's like it never happened. It's like it got lost in the mail. I'm not responding to the invite, and I'm not sending a gift unless it's somebody that I actually. But all of them are
That's what I'm
married.
Saying.
Friends are done. Right. Cousins are done. This is now another level, and I'm not playing into that level.
I get that. No, buddy, I'm with you. But I'm saying I do have nieces and nephews, and there are eventually all going to probably do it. That's what I'm saying. I'll send them money. I'll send them an envelope. I'll call them and I'll tell them, listen, this is what's going on. But for something else, it's just even now, and I had to put that we're going to this wedding, that 2 of us are going, not even knowing if my wife can go because of her job now. Because I don't know when she's going to be home, when she's not going to be home. So I can't commit. And it's an adult reception. My daughter's not even invited. So it's one of these, but I still put down 2, and I put 2 beef, whatever it was, because it was chicken, beef, or vegetarian. You know what I mean? So I know this is going to be a high-end wedding, so I know it's going to be fucking a nice piece of steak. I know it's going to be a good meal. So this is fine. But I'm like, I put 2 there. However, if my wife can't go, I'll have to call them and say, listen, no one's going to come, because my daughter's not invited. At first I thought, okay, if she doesn't come, I just bring Francesca. Who cares? The 2 of us come. You know what I mean? Big deal. But now I see this as adult reception to follow, and her name wasn't on the envelope. So I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I guess they don't want anybody under 18 or something, which is fine. That's their right. I mean, less people
do. That's what we did.
But there you go. But it's a money thing. They want
people still showed up with kids, the motherfuckers.
No, I wouldn't do that. No, that's
my family. I'm just kidding. But it was but that's the one thing about, like, maybe you don't have these things to worry about if you don't have like an Italian family, and I'm an only child. So this is all my mom's brothers and sisters, because on my dad's side, I don't know. I know my aunt and 2 cousins, and that's all done. That's not going to happen, and everybody else is married already. So on their side, it's all their kids or their kids' kids, and I'm like, okay, enough's enough. But I've got a niece and a nephew that, although not close with, they're still very young. But in 10 years, if they were to get married and we were invited to the wedding, that one I would go to. I would think, but it would be based on my wife, because it's my wife's side. True. Same with some other ones, but there's that's what that's few and far between, and there's a little bit more of a direct connection now. Like a second and third cousins, like, fuck it. To me, it's like a money grab. Oh, this cousin's still alive. Send him an invite.
Right. Of course it is. True, because they want the money. But again, they might lose out on money. You don't know what they're going to give them.
But they don't get. I'm not sending shit if I'm not going.
That's fair.
I just don't do it. Fair. I don't say, oh, I can't go. Here you go. I just, like I said, sorry, if that's the right way to do it, fuck it. I'm not falling for this.
Well,
fuck it. No way.
Here's my rationale.
Frugal that way.
No, but I get that. If it's someone that you're really not close to at all and everything else, and they're really reaching, like you said. But if it's someone that I'm close enough to that I feel if it wasn't for COVID, I would go to the wedding. reluctantly because I don't like to go to any weddings ever. But I've always been that way. But I mean, I would go to the wedding because I would feel obligated to go. But if I can't because of how I feel about catching COVID, they are the people that I'm going to send an envelope to. Just a C note. Boom, sorry, regret. I'll even call some of them. Here you go. Can't go, but I'm going to do this because I feel bad for not being at the wedding. So I'll do that. That's okay. I don't mind doing that. But that's it. I'm not going anywhere. I mean, and it's only because of what happened with me. I understand if other people don't fear COVID the way I have to, that's fine. But it's like, I mean, it's fucked up. Remember I told you last time at that party, my daughter's birthday party, my mother, my fucking stepfather, my brother, and my sister-in-law all got it. Now, but with them, easy peasy fucking 5 days. Matter of fact, my sister-in-law, Lynn, got fucking barely more than sniffles. She had the lightest case of anybody I know. Unvaccinated, by the way. Her and my brother. No fucking shots at any time. No problem at all. My mother and stepfather had it a little bit longer, but they're older, so you expect it. And they had 4 fucking vaxes. Matter of fact, they got their 4th shot that fucking day they got diagnosed for it. So, I don't know. Again, I still don't know if there's rhyme or reason to vaccines. I don't know, but I'm just saying that I see everything going on, this, that, the other thing. Some people are getting it bad. Some people aren't getting it bad. Very few people I've talked to fucking got what I got. I don't know why I got what I got. But with that knowledge, I have to be fearful. I can't let something like that happen again. And honestly, I think the stress of money is what made me sicker than I was supposed to be. Looking back on it. And that's why they put me on those pills that were half fucking antidepressants.
Thinking of like losing money because you were sick, you mean? Not being able to, being homesick and not working?
Yeah, well, because I didn't know how long it was going to take for me to get my pay because I'm missing work.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I can't go 2-3 weeks and not get a paycheck. And ultimately, that is what happened. It went to a certain amount of time where I had to give them a definitive return date, right? 100%, and know that I was going to be able to come back on that date to get paid. And then I got a lump sum at the end. And then I used up all my fucking vacation time and everything else. And then it came back. And when it came back, I lost money on it because the vacation paid full. Okay. And the sick time paid full. But when you take this, it's only like, what percentage of your pay? It isn't your whole pay. It's like 80% or so, whatever the hell it was. So it was like a disability type thing. So it could have just been me stressing about money to that extreme and trying to get the phone calls through with everybody. But again, that's an old story and it fucking sucked. But bottom line, I don't want it to happen again. And I don't want to go anywhere as a result. I mean, I did go to the movies. We went to see the Batman. No, well, we went to see the Batman. Couldn't get in. That's a whole other fucking headache. We ended up watching it at home. But then we went and we saw another movie. What the fuck did we see? Oh, it was a comedy with what's that actor? A good actor, someone I like, where he plays himself trying to get a role.
Oh, yeah, Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
We saw that Nicolas Cage movie because they wanted to go to the movies and they happened to be playing. Yeah, we enjoyed it. It was fine. Yeah. So we saw that. We ended up going to the movies that day. And
what'd you think of the Batman? Because I was not
pretty solid.
Let me rephrase my raving. I was raving about the cinematic quality of it. I do think it was overlong, but I really there's a lot more to enjoy. Again, with that version and vision of Batman, I thought it was really solid for the most part.
No, it was great. No, I really enjoyed it. I like the Joker better, the Joker one that came out a few years prior. But it was a pretty good movie. I mean, outside again, I haven't seen all the Batmans, but I mean, I quite enjoyed it for sure. So I'm glad I got to see it. But yeah, but
sorry for you know what movie I have absolutely, positively no interest in seeing?
What?
Take a guess. Top Gun Maverick. I think. Sorry, I so take a guess and I just answered it because was it you and I talking about this on a show?
Everything being fucking nothing's original.
Top Gun. This movie came out like what 86? Who is asking for a sequel? If they were asking for a sequel, they're asking for it in 87, 88. They're not asking for it now. Now it's gotten solid reviews.
This is the time.
I think, but it looks like I have absolutely no interest in this movie. I see a preview for it. I'm like, this looks exactly as vapid as the first movie. I'm speechless. Who wants movie.
Well, it's the same discussion we just had a few shows back. I don't know if you remember when I was telling you that there is nothing original at the fucking box office anymore, and everything is a redo or a remake or a reimagining or a fucking sequel to something that's been done. And there's nothing like 10% of what comes out nowadays is our original fucking things. Everything else is based off another product or a fucking spin-off of that product somehow. That's where we're at now in life with fucking theater. That isn't horror. I'm talking mainstream shit. It's garbage. However, I only saw Top Gun for the first time this year, so I actually have a vested interest because it's fresh in my memory, and I'm a little curious about it. Now, I would never go out to the theater for it, but when it comes home, I'll watch it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think I will. I have no interest.
I'm curious.
I have no interest to go back to see the original one. I remember not liking that movie thoroughly disappointed. It was Tony Scott, I think, directed it too, which I actually was a pretty big fan of a lot of his films. R.I.P. But yeah, no interest. And the most shameful thing is the song that they've chosen for it is Toll Route to the Danger Zone. I'm like, really? Toll Route to the Danger Zone? It was Highway to the Danger Zone now, and it's such a horrible joke. I was trying to.
I was buying it.
I'm going to cut that joke out. It was so bad.
I was buying it. I didn't. Holy fuck.
Toll Route to the Danger Zone.
Toll Route. There's Toll Route, there's Freeway, there's Highway, there's Turnpike.
Well, that's
there's all different fucking words for this thing. Speaking of different words, the weather is coming around now.
Wait, I apologize, everybody, for that joke. It was horrible.
No, it's good. I was just confused. No, it's good.
Your face, you're like, yeah, Toll Route to the Danger Zone. Wow. How much is it?
I got to ask you this and get this out of the way. I think we're having so much fun already. Maybe I shouldn't even ask you. Oh, what the hell? You're in a good
No, I'm not coming to your wedding.
We're going to have a redo. We're going to redo our wedding because we didn't have a real wedding the first time. That is a fact. We got married in private. We're going to have a redo. No.
Checks in the mail.
Have you gone into the refrigerator yet? Brought out some barbecue, right? Gone into the backyard, fired up your barbecue.
Absolutely.
Barbecued your food, and then when you finished, called your friends over for a barbecue.
I've done all of that except for call friends over for the barbecue yet because we're still we've had some. We weren't sure about the weather this weekend. It's been kind of spotty. In fact, we had a storm yesterday when we were getting stuff for barbecue that knocked the tree across the street down. I mean, it sucked. It's still down. It was blocking the road right in front of our house, like half the road because it's a two-way. And people were going around it for hours. And finally, they got enough guys because you couldn't lift it by yourself, obviously. But there's like 8 guys that went out, and they picked it up and kind of shifted it over. So it's mostly off the road now. But there's been so much damage. Someone died. A tree fell on them. Not in Toronto. Yeah, horrible. Or Brampton, like surrounding area. Like it was a really wacky storm. They're saying tornadoes struck down somewhere, like not here, but somewhere else. It's just been. It was out of the blue. Like we knew we were getting rain.
Last night?
A tree. It was yesterday afternoon. Midday.
Afternoon. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got something like. Probably, I guess it was still afternoon. It was light out because this motherfucking shit. Well, hold on. Let me finish this.
So yes. To answer.
Yes.
Did I barbecued? So last night we bought trout. Trout
wait
fillet.
A minute now.
Well, what do you mean?
Hold on.
Barbecued trout? Yeah.
You put actual barbecue sauce on the fish?
Well, you could, but we didn't.
So you didn't really.
I glazed it differently. Okay. But I barbecued chicken the other night.
Okay, there you go.
I barbecued chicken on the barbecue, and I'm gonna fucking there's no mention of a grill.
And
there's no fucking mention of a grill.
But here, check it out.
People over for no one says come over for a grill. Are you fucking crazy?
A cookout. See what I'm saying? So this is in our way. There's a different word for everything. There's a grill. There's a cookout. There's barbecue sauce, and there's a barbecue. That's the tree across the street. You know what it's like in
Downsy.
Canada? You know what it's like? I think it's kind of like you live in Smurf Village. And did you watch the Smurfs when you were a kid?
I reluctantly. I was never
Okay.
really a big Smurf fan because my dad
I'm
would
like,
always make a joke. It's like I put it on and he would be like, "What the fuck?" Like the language, like they just insert Smurf whenever they want to insert
that's
Smurf.
it. That's what you do with barbecue. That's what I'm saying. So the other night I was smurfing at home and I smurfed over here and I called the Smurf. That's how the Smurfs talk. That's what you do with barbecue. It's your version of Smurf.
Yeah,
Get it? It's a
yeah. I
noun.
get it. I don't like it.
Anyway, I'll move on. I thought about it because
Two
I
apple
cooked
eye, mother,fucker.
Friday night. I cooked some burgers. It was my first cookout of the year. It was just me and Frankie. I go, hey, the
Okay.
cookout season is here. The grilling season, I
There's
should say.
two of you cookout. I can understand if like 1,000 people
Oh,
come out, we're having a cookout.
no, it's
Two
not
people.
really.
It's a fucking
It's not.
barbecue. It's
It
dinner.
wasn't a cookout. Yeah, it's grilling season, Frankie. I'm gonna cook some. This is literally what I said. I'm gonna put some burgers on the grill Friday.
Grilling season. I'm gonna.
Yeah, it's the season when
This was sharp. I just.
So son of a bitch, what was I
I
gonna
can
look
bleed
up?
myself out.
Oh, the text, this motherfucker. So now my wife, as you know, is gone. She's at the school. Thank goodness she hasn't been sent home yet, as some have, because this shit is not easy. You wouldn't believe the 4 pages of shit she had to memorize and have it all known by day 3. I couldn't fucking memorize 4 sentences, much less 4 fucking pages.
Memorize. Asshole, sit in your seat, do up your fucking seatbelt. There's a floating device under the seat. The emergency exit's over there. Stupid. Now shut up, wear your mask, and everything will be fine.
Yeah.
Memorize.
Right. If only it were so easy, but it's every
Yeah.
fucking word, and you can't miss a word. And they fucking,
Oh
you
my
gotta have,
God.
dude, yeah, this woman, she was, for a month, that's all she did. Noon and night, fucking morning, everything, just study. That's all she did. People got sent home. 3 more people got sent home the other day because one woman didn't even
It's like
attempt.
fucking Survivor. Get
Yeah,
off the
well,
island.
that's what
You're
it
out.
is. It's a good job. So you got to get through all these trials. And then at the
Yeah.
end, if you get it, you graduate, you get your wings, so to speak. So, okay, let's see what time it was.
Like Red Bull.
It was 6:11 p.m. Okay, so not really afternoon, starting into the early evening. I may have mentioned this shit on the show before. Fucking Chicken Little, my neighbor over here, who every time the sky is falling, And now I get mad at I don't get mad at my wife, but I fucking give her a little shit for it because everything this woman says to her, she texts her these things. Oh, this is gonna happen. You better worry. You better prepare. And she always fucking.
Your wife texts Chicken Little?
No. Chicken Little texts my wife all the time, not me,
Chicken Little.
right? So, so she's gone. So now she knows I'm her liaison over here, right?
Oh,
So-
no.
Now I get a text, motherfucker. I get a
Stop
text
missing
yesterday.
my for the yard.
6:11 p.m. Hi, Dave. It's Michelle next door. There is supposed to be a big storm coming, and you should probably lay your patio umbrella down. Here we fucking go. All I gave her was the fucking. I typed in OK, and it just gave the fucking that symbol, the fucking threading the needle. And then as soon as I got that, I sent this to my wife and daughter in the group. I said, here we go. Here it begins. Unbelievable. So now I have to fucking listen to 2 females in my life under duress, mind you, my mother and my wife. I will take that. The fact that I have to listen to a fucking woman next door, it burns me up to no fucking
What do
effect.
you mean? A woman like that's came out? What if it was a guy next door? Wouldn't that burn you just as much?
Yeah, but a guy wouldn't do that. It's true. It's not something that a guy would do. Hey, buddy, you better
It's
lay
true.
your shit down because guys are fucking. I
Yeah.
don't know. I just can't imagine a man doing that.
It's just no differently than the tons of guys that went up. It was like Sword in the Stone with this tree yesterday. Like everybody was going as if they're like going to miraculously lift this. It's a fucking tree. It's not a branch. It's a tree. So every time I'm just looking at my window, I'm like, you fucking asshole. You asshole. I can't believe you think you're going to lift that fucking tree. I went over to it. They took the picture. Cares like you think you can move. I'm like, no, it's a tree. I'm like, it's
a
heavy.
fucking tree, right? What is this, Friday tree?
If there's like, yeah, exactly. I go, maybe if there's a few more of me, we could do it. And then later on, 8 people went. But just like guys, that's what guys do. This is why I can never work with all guys all the time because
I have to
this light bulb will be burnt out. This light bulb will be burnt out, and they'll be like, "I gotta go change the bulb." Wait a second here. I don't know if we should change the bulb rate. And then you'd be like fucking 8 guys sitting around talking about the light bulb. I'm like, can I just change the fucking thing?
Yes.
You're driving me crazy. And it's like everything. That's what guys are. Oh, well, we can't take this route because we're going to go this route. I got, fuck you. Fuck you. And this is why I don't know if it's A-type personalities or what, but get the fuck out of my way before I drive right over you and you're camping out my wheel well. Just get out of my way. I fucking hate, like, this is why I can't, and it's guys. So I get it.
Yeah.
Women, you get this from this side,
Correct.
but then you get like the 5 guys stroking their chins going, okay, how should we tackle this? You're going to tackle it by getting the fuck away. Just leave me alone. I'm going to do it by myself. And I'm going to do it incorrectly, but I'm going to do it by myself because I don't want to fucking spend 2 hours talking about it.
You're right. There's men, there's males and females, right? They're both fucked up in their different ways. It's like political parties. You got the right and the left, and they're both fucked up in their ways. Same thing. Yeah. But it's like, so this woman, now, and I will give you this. It
made me feel better.
Hard. We got thunder, we got lightning, it poured rain for a fucking hour. It was a serious fucking storm. However, the implication of me having to lay my things down is wind. And I keep telling my wife every time, honey, does this woman know what I do for a living? Does she know that I work for the power company and that when there's a big storm and lines are going to go down, we're typically some of the first people to know about this, and they say, prepare to maybe be called for a storm this evening? Don't you think that my fucking company is on top of this? Then I even looked at the fucking weather in my thing in my phone. There was not one word of wind on the fucking thing. Yes, lightning. Yes, rain. So what did I do? I went outside. I took my umbrella. I laid the fucking thing down with the table because this woman asked me to. And then I took 4 chairs, stacked one on top of the other, lawn chairs, and I put them on the other end of the thing. And then I put it on there. And I told my wife and daughter in text. When I came back, I said, I took a picture. I said, that is the way. I'll even show you the picture. I said, that is the way.
I showed you the tree.
Yeah, right. There you go.
You're
going to stay. Look. I go, now for the rest of the fucking summer, it is going to stay that way unless we are having guests and I have to put it up. Why put it up and then I have to worry about this fucking wackadoo telling me to fucking put it down?
You should get that tire that you left back there and put it right beside there, too.
Oh, God, that tire. I gave my wife such a treat. 2 days before she left, I went out there, the weather broke a little bit, and I took everything down just so I can send her off fucking happy. I even had sex with her. I said, here, we're going to do this. Well, it's a chore in this house now.
It's a chore. I even fuck. Yeah.
It's not a chore for desire. It's a chore because we have a creaky motherfucking ass wooden bed, right? And my daughter's bedroom is fucking a stone's throw across the fucking hallway. And it's just gotten, and she's staying up later and later now. And it's you got to make an appointment and meet me in the basement.
I know you do. Like when the kids get older now, you're like, we talked to a couple. They're saying, when we travel, they share the room with them. It's very difficult, but we still have sex in the room. I'm like, what? They have sex in the room with their kids. I'm like,
be quiet.
No, like,
it's like when you're a kid.
The same thing. The kids are older now. It's like it's a whole fucking, like, you're scheduling it as if it's like fucking like a job.
Dude,
or an
sucks.
appointment.
That's what I'm saying. It's getting
job,
worse.
10 p.m.
It's getting worse and worse and worse. It really is. And I just
9:45. Sorry.
So I sent her off happy.
You what you should have done is just gone out and bought 20 fucking umbrellas and set them all up in your backyard. and then texted Michelle and said, fuck you.
Right. Believe me, I wanted to. Believe me, I wanted to. But I do need these people, and they are friendly and helpful and this and that. And her husband does help me out with these, because you see, I'm not the alpha male type. I'm not a beta, but I'm not Mr. fucking fix it, and I'm not Mr. this, and I'm not Mr. fucking that. And he's one of these guys that if I need help with something, I could go at, because I don't have any shame, because I can't help it. I can't help it that my father didn't teach this shit to me because he had money and he paid everyone else to do fucking work for him. He was a construction worker, which is the funny part. When he went to work, he fucking was a laborer. When he got home, granted, he had a
want to do that. Yeah, I get it.
He was on the phone doing some other shit. He was booking.
I get it.
So he had other shit going on. But still, this is not the way I came up, and I have such fucking small patience about things like that when things go awry, I don't want to start fucking going crazy. But either way, long story short, that's what happened. So now this is what I cannot wait to have money where I can buy a fucking fence. Because when I have a fence, then I can say, fuck you. Because she's worried about something blowing into her house, which the odds of that happening, the odds of something, you saw that umbrella in that fucking thing. Do you really think that umbrella has a weight on the bottom and the table are going to lift up in the fucking air, jump over the fucking deck and collide into fucking her house? She thinks this about everything. Even
if it does, what's it going to do? Like, unless it hits a window maybe and break. But I mean, seriously, like that shit is what drives me crazy. I don't mind because my neighbors texted me to say, hey, you know, this fell. I just realized actually they didn't text me it, but I noticed my drain, the eaves trough thing came loose because of yesterday. But anyway, I don't want to get it. If they're doing it to help you, great. But when it's not, that's not about help. That's about her worrying about her shit, and that would irk the shit out of me.
And it does.
It's not. She's trying to pretend. She's masking it as if she's doing you a favor. Maybe you should put that. But you read right through it. You're like, no. Yeah. The only way you're telling me this is because you're worried that it's going to do something destructive to your house.
Of course.
That's why 20 umbrellas. I'm coming over with 20 umbrellas.
That's it. Well,
we're erecting them tomorrow.
No, I'm not going to put myself in that position again. That fucking umbrella is going to stay down all summer, unless the 3 or 4 times they have guests over, and I'll put it up. Here you go. Other than that motherfucker's staying down because I do not want any other fucking female that isn't my mother or my father or a supervisor at work giving me fucking direction. I don't want it. It has nothing to do with them being a female. I shouldn't say that, but I'm saying that.
Well, that's what it came across of earlier, which is why I made the joke.
Well, no man is going to boss me around. Like, no man in my life is. My father doesn't tell me what to do. My brother doesn't tell me what to do. My friends don't tell me what to do. That's what I'm saying. On the job, that's different. But I'm saying no female that I'm around. I mean, they tell me my mother always has a fucking opinion what I should and shouldn't do. Of course, my wife has a fucking opinion what I should and shouldn't do, because that's what they do. I have taken that on in my life. I have chosen to have a wife, and knowing that fucking this is what's going to happen to me. But I haven't chosen to fucking walk down any fucking aisle with this woman next door.
Exactly.
She didn't give birth to me. So you know what? Yeah. I don't want you telling me what to do. Oh, here's something that's funny. Friday night, my brother called his wife a wrench. Well, listen to what he said. He doesn't know I use the term. It's great. We were talking about something or other. And me and my buddy, the 3 of us, as always, on Friday nights, we were talking about I was saying how happy I was that now that Irene's gone, I could put up a fan in my room and sleep with the fan next to me. Because as soon as she came in my life, I had to get rid of the fan. The noise keeps her up. So, it was my comfort thing for years, right? So, being the gentleman that I am, I fucking said, okay, honey, you know what? I'll get used to it. And I did. However, I never really did. I mean, I got used to it, but I still miss it every night. Especially now it's hot, right? So now I'm the type of guy, I don't like to have if I can get away with not running the air conditioning or the heat, I'm going to. And I'm going to open my windows, and I'm going to live that way and have the nice air coming in, because when it's like in the 70 degrees, low 70s stuff, it feels good. That's what I like, and I don't want to waste fucking money. So, okay, my wife's not here. Now I can get away with doing this stuff because, it's never that easy with her. So we're doing this. Okay, now the dog is upstairs, and upstairs tends to be hotter than downstairs because, whatever, heat rises and what have you. So the dog, Francesca, just so happened to be doing FaceTime with my wife Friday night. And she just so happened to show her Bailey, the dog, and the dog was upstairs, and she was panting from heat, which she does do from time to time. Even if she sits on the couch next to me, she'll pant. I'll say, get on the floor, and then it goes away. So anyway, because this dog is panting, this whole fucking thing, now I get a text from the wife. Hey, do you have the air on? No, I had the windows open. I was doing this. So now I got to fucking close everything up and put the fucking air on for the dog. And then that's how the conversation, I go 2,000 fucking miles away, and she's still fucking finding ways to fucking fuck my shit up. So then Mike says, well, because he's married. He's like, well, he goes, that's all they do. And he goes, and then we started talking about heat and cold, and at night I'm hot and she's cold and this and that. And he goes, they do anything to be opposite of you. I said, yeah, you're right. And he goes, that's all they do. He goes, all they do is always be opposite of you, cost you money, and throw a wrench into your plans. Those were his fucking words. And I just cracked up, and I said, I got to tell this one on the show because Brent's just the fun part.
He's not far off from being correct.
Oh,
man.
Yeah.
But, it's crazy. But yeah, so we were talking about movies, and we got off on a whole different thing. Did you see, you said you've been watching mostly 2020s, 22s, sorry.
I've been watching 2022s and fucking 1980s for the next 22 shots thing. But yeah, I'll tell you what I've watched. Hold on, let's see this thing. By the way, for this year, I have 188 movies watched for this year. Out of fucking
wow.
Yeah, out of control.
All right, I don't even know how many I've got.
So let's see how do I look at it? Diary? Or does Diary fuck it up? Yeah, this is the way. So this is what I've been watching. 2022. Yeah, because I did the first two. I did Scream and TCM, and then I watched Fresh not too much longer after that, based on something that Jamie said when she was here. So we were talking about that. And then I was doing all those 1994 movies. Then I watched X because Mia had to watch it, and more on Mia in a bit because I'll tell you, I ordered some things. So for the first time in a very long time. So then let's see. Then it was this and this and this and the Batman. Okay. Then I watched this movie called The Cellar. Then I watched Slapface. These are all 2022s. Then I watched No Exit. I watched The Cursed. I watched Firestarter. I watched Master. I watched Hellbender. C for Me. Barbarians. Yeah, that's it. But that's a lot. And fucking, it's like, So you know what I've been doing? I watched 3 movies from 2022, and then I watch a 1980. That's been my plan. So that's what I've been doing.
I saw Hellbender. I did a lot of the Shudder ones, although I didn't see the new zombie one yet because Sadness or whatever. I've heard it's great.
Everyone's blowing it. So
I just haven't seen it yet. It's more just from scheduling time frame. I haven't watched that Studio 666 or X.
Is 666 available to be watched yet?
No, I don't think. I think it's coming out, but it came to the theater here, but it was an in and out. So, but when I watched on Shudder, Eric Webster told me not to. It's like, don't do it. And for whatever reason, I put this one on. No, Virus 32, I actually didn't mind.
It's mixed. I'm going to watch it. It's mixed, though. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't mind that movie at all, actually. Because again, I thought they did the relationship thing fine, and there's a couple of great top-notch scenes. But it's nothing that you haven't seen before, but it was enjoyable. The one that he warned me against is the very stupidly titled The Scary of 61st.
He warned you, huh? That's on my list. It's on my watch list.
It's a very bizarre premise, and if you don't know the premise... Okay, if you don't know the premise, I won't tell you it, because I went in just knowing that title is just, it's worded dumb. I don't know, like The Scary of 61st. It's just such a weirdly titled film.
But look at the ratings. These are people on my Letterboxd.
Yeah. There's one that gives it a 1, a couple 2s.
Yeah, there's a couple, but there's 4.5s too from some. So I'm like, you know what? It's divisive, but some people really like it. I go, movies like that, I have to give a shot.
I did not hate it like Eric did, but I disliked it a lot. I would say on a Letterboxd, it would be no higher than a 4 or a 2. So like a 4 out of 10.
Okay. So you're in that
for me. Okay. But it could even be lower, because there's some things I was like, what the fuck am I watching? But I watched it. I was intrigued, never felt the need to turn it off, but it's a very weird premise that I'm kind of surprised they got away with. And there's some, like, I guess, okay parts to it. I just thought the low budget worked. Like I feel like they cheapened out, and they could have done things better. I think they gave it a really bad film look. And so, like, the aesthetic of it wasn't my favorite either. And that has to come into play. It can't always just be about story, because it's about the way the movie looks, the feels, and everything else. Like I actually probably put a lot more weight on that, as I've said in the past. Yeah, obviously you need some sort of story, but there's movies that I like that the story could be questionable, but the movie itself looks great and has a lot of the other elements that we look for as well. So it's interesting. I mean, check it out. It's on Shudder for free. but
Okay.
ultimately,
You
but
know my
ultimately,
tastes. Do you think I'll like it, or do you think I'll fall in your camp? Is there something about it that you look at and like, okay, Dave might like something like this. If not,
see,
I
I
might
think
not even bother.
I actually think you may like it better
Okay,
than me, for sure.
fair
I
enough.
think you
Okay,
would.
fair enough.
I
Then
think
I'm
we're like
staying on my watch
there are
list.
elements of it that if you said it, everybody would be like, well, how can this movie not be like on everybody's list just based on what you just described? But ultimately, like as Eric said, he couldn't even get excited about the nudity in the film. I'm paraphrasing, but ultimately that's kind of what he said, just based on how shoddy he thought the movie was. And for the most part, I agree. Like I texted him back and said, yeah, you weren't far off. But I think when I saw his rating, it was significantly lower than what I would have done. But it still fails. Like it still would have been if I did it out of 10. I probably like the highest I would have given it as a 4 out of 10. Maybe even 3.
Well, it's still on the list, and there's a reason for it. I have a very, I got a method. And you know what? I'll tell you what. This year I've watched 13 movies from 2022, and my 2 lowest rated ones, there are 2 6.5s. So everything else is a 7 or higher, and I'm just fine. So I'm so far so good. And you know what? I'm going to make a statement about modern movies. I believe that people are harder on movies. And I know we just talked about how everything is a fucking redo and a fucking sequel and this and a reimagining outside of horror. Yes, we are still getting them in horror. Yes, but I mean, I think that horror fans are harder. They're more harsh. They have more harsh critiques on movies that are remakes and movies that are sequels or franchise films than anything else. And I'll tell you why. The two of the lowest rated movies that are on the list that I would watch. There's other ones that I look and I know it's a turd. I'm not going to watch it. But can you believe that the Firestarter new one is rated a 2, and the Texas Chainsaw is a 1.9, or it's the other way around? They are the 2 lowest fucking things that are on my wish list that are on anything of all horror movies. So basically, all these horror fans have watched all these horror movies and decided that there's all these shitballs out there, but they've decided that the new Firestarter and that new TCM are the fucking worst movies of the year. There is no way. I think they are being completely fucking unfair, and I'm just gonna say that. I think they come down way too hard.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
That's the modern that's horror fans in general. It's difficult because it's what I think annoys. Like some people just let it go. They're like, who gives a shit? It's someone's opinion.
Yeah.
I could care less.
I don't give a shit. It's just an observation.
When you see it, no, and I agree. But it does fester with certain. I'm like, how? Like I agree with it with you're saying, but it does make me question people's taste a lot of times. But then they'll question my taste. Because TCM, that new TCM, as of right now, is probably one of the standouts of the year.
For me too. I know, for me too.
When I look at my list now, I haven't looked. Like I said, I haven't watched X yet. I still haven't watched The Sadness. But that one, when I look at my list, it's probably it is at the very top as of right now.
Well, I'm telling you, all the movies that I mentioned, those 13. You could watch them all. Granted, 2 are 6.5. One of them being Firestarter, but I would only give the first Firestarter a 6 and a 6.5 as well. Don't sit here and tell me that the original Firestarter with Drew Barrymore is some fucking revered Stephen King film, because it's fucking not. No one ever fucking talks about that movie, and it's fine for what it was. And this movie is fine for what it is too. I didn't go in with high expectations. Plus, this one has the Carpenter score, and I happen to like the little girl. It's the same little girl that played, well, I know you don't watch it, but American Horror Story last season. She played a good role, and she was a badass girl in that one too. This girl, the girl on Firestarter, Charlie, isn't a bad girl. She does some bad things, and she gets pushed, but she was a real badass in the other one. I liked her then. So, but that's that. So there are a few things I wanted to get into, a little housekeeping, if you will. First of all, this top 200 thing, excuse me. Mm-hmm. People have asked questions, this, that, the other thing. This is the way. It was just like last time, but there have been questions. So the scoring for the top 200 is this. When you submit a list, let's pretend your number 1 movie is Evil Dead, and your number 2 movie is Mad Men, and your number 3 movie is Your Next of all time. Okay? When you submit a list, you give 100 points to your top movie, 99 to your second, 98. So the best way to do this and to help us out with the addition, well, me, because I'm doing it, is to just write number 1, and then right next to it, Evil Dead, and then to the right of it, 100. Those are the points you're assigning it. Number 2, Madman, and then 99 next to that. Number 3, you're next, and then 98 next to that, and so on till you get to the bottom, and your number 100 movie is going to say, number 100 zombie, 1 point. That's it. That's all you got to do. You can send it to, you can message me personally on Facebook. You can send it to our email, explodingheadshorrorpodcast@gmail.com, or you're listening to this, you're probably a patron. So you just can message us through there. It's real easy. There's plenty of time. It's not till Labor Day, but I'm trying to gauge how many we're going to get. We've gotten one already, by the way. One person has sent one in. John, a.k.a. Chris. Or no, Chris, a.k.a. Scott. Excuse me. Not John, a.k.a. Chris is John.
Made of many names. John, Chris, Scott. I just want to timestamp this so that people are like, because we especially when the episodes come out later on YouTube for the masses and whatnot as well, that it's Sunday, May 22nd right now, 2022. So don't be sending us a list if you're listening to this in fucking 2024.
No, episode 200 is going to be over. So if it's after episode 200, you missed the boat. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. So it's episode 200. We're at 177 now. Time is getting close, kind of. I just want to have this all in, like I said, Labor Day, which is like the first week of September, and that gives me a good 3 months to arrange the list. I'm hoping to get at least 35 lists like we did last time. The more, the better for something like this, because I want to have as many titles on there as possible, because we're taking people's 100s and we're turning it into 200. So we're going to want a bunch. I hope it doesn't end up, well, here's the top 172. I mean, we don't want to do that. So the more lists, the better. And if they come in early, it gives me enough time to compose it. So remember, that is how you do it. Okay. This is something we never mentioned, but we have so much action going on YouTube. If you're listening on YouTube now, it's probably an older show, but if you, whatever, go on to YouTube and give our videos a thumbs up, because apparently the thumbs up is the biggest algorithm you could do now. And no one ever thinks to do it. And I didn't think to do it. Mood was telling me about it when I was with them. So I started thumbs upping all of our friends' fucking things they put out. And I'm going to continue to do that now. So, but put thumbs up on our things and subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the YouTube. It's not going to affect you unless you go on YouTube and hit your button that says subscriptions. So it's not going to interfere like fucking things pop up in your phone all the time. But go on, look at our videos. Click the little thumbs up thing and subscribe. It would be a big help. And one more thing, it's been a long time since I've asked about this, but please go and rate and subscribe on the the iTunes feed, the YouTunes. That's funny. A combination of YouTube and iTunes, YouTunes. On the iTunes feed. Go to your iTunes and subscribe and give us a fucking 5-star rating. And if you really want to take a minute, give us a fucking review. Please do that. So there you go. Here's something. Okay, as long as we're talking about Chris, aka Scott, did you get Prey feedback from him directly?
Yes, I did. But it's been a while now.
Okay, that's okay. Well, I'm gonna read one. I got one from. Hold on, where the hell is it now? I know I got something over here. I got some from Gary Miller. So I want you to know.
Gary got me too. Yeah, he reached out as well. Yeah, the last time I talked to Chris, aka Scott, he was watching Tremors because of Fred Ward had passed away, and he just loves the movie.
That's what he told you?
Yeah. Well, that was May 13th. That wasn't the feedback from the Prey.
Oh, I got May 12th. This is what I got. I got from Gary. Chris said you guys obliterated my movie. Fuck you guys. I'm pulling my patronage. You can both go fuck yourselves. Yeah. LOL. Actually, that'll be just my movie and mine alone. I can't wait to put it in my top 100 list. So
yeah,
at least
you do that. You do that, Gary.
Yeah. But again, you can say whatever you want about this. I did give it a fair viewing. I went in. I wanted to enjoy it more than I ever have. And with me, I always try to say it. If I don't like a movie, I am going to tell you why. So it isn't like I don't. Some people don't. Some people listen to some podcasts. They don't really give unfair critiques. But I believe our we had fair criticisms. But again, nostalgia glasses fucking are heavy. You saw it at a young age and something about it, and you feel like movies in the woods and everything else. Like Gary was saying, I get that. I saw it at a young age, and my nostalgia is it fucking sucked in, and we were mad about it, and that always stayed. Yeah. So I was willing to. I even tried to combat it, saying, okay, let me watch it now without that, and maybe I can pull a 6 out of this movie somehow. And maybe it's not as bad. And I was just mad about the what do you call it, the wildlife scene. Turns out, no, it was that bad still. But
I mean, I can't believe Brian Sammons loves this movie. I mean,
that's right.
Just kidding. We have to like do a retraction because he reached out and was like, I don't love the movie. It's like kind of like between hate and dislike or something to that effect. I don't have his comment right in front of us, but it was
you gave it a 2.5. 2.5 out of 5, which is between don't like and like.
Okay. That was the range.
Yep.
But okay, so we retract the fact that we thought he loved it. Loved it.
I'm just surprised he doesn't give it a 1.
Yeah. That's what we're shocked about.
Right. He critiques strongly. He doesn't give, I mean, when they do 1 to 5, he will give some 5s for movies he loves, which is fine. I get all that. But I mean, he almost always goes below Jamie, doesn't like a lot of the movies. He doesn't have a lot of patience for a lot of shitball movies, and he will give a 1 in this. I just don't see what's, again, maybe it's nostalgia for him too. So I'm surprised it's not a 1, but hey, 2.5, so be it. I know I have 2.5s that he'd give a 1, I'm sure. Yeah. So that's just the way it is. But we did try. We did try to give it a good.
Well, I think someone called me out. I think it was Chris called me out for watching the Kuno cut. He's like, no, he wanted me to endure every animal shot. And I'm like, no, I've watched it before. I'm going to watch the Kuno cut. And the Kuno cut. I love to say that.
The Kuno cut. It is good. I'm so happy he did that. But honestly, I went so into depth on every single animal shot and what it was. You didn't even need to. I'm not making it up. So
I know.
So it isn't like you didn't know. But yeah, I guess you should have endured the full thing to give a proper review.
Shut the fuck up.
But
everybody.
Yeah. I don't think it was going to turn your 2 into a 3 because you saw fucking butterfly wings flapping a few times or something.
I invited the guys down the street. I'm like, guys, there's like 8 of them. I go, look, I gotta look at either this one or the de-animalized cut. And they're standing around scratching their beards going, well, and I'm like, fuck you. Why did I bother?
Oh,
fucking
man.
Guys.
That's how they are.
That's why I don't have friends anymore.
Most of my friends aren't like that, but everybody I work with is.
No. I have maybe 1 or 2 that would be like, okay, we gotta it's always a fucking it's as if we're fucking blueprinting like a fucking house or something like every day. Can we just jump into the job? I understand there's prep involved, but we don't have to be we don't have to be. I don't want to get into it again. Let's just get into it. Let's just do it. Not the reviews, just
not that
life. I'm talking about life with them.
Life.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know what the fuck's my getting all. The price sucked. I don't know what else to say. It is your movie, Gary. Enjoy it. Fucking frame it on the wall. If I get the VHS here, I'm smashing it for part 3.
Put it in your top 100. Go ahead. That's okay.
Yeah, I'll smash that too. I'll put that list on top of the VHS, and I'll just smash it into oblivion.
He'll have to bring it back just for that.
Yeah.
I got the VHS right there. The parade.
I'll send it my way.
No, are you kidding me? That's too much memories, that thing. That fucking box. It's not human and it's got an axe. That fucking ridiculous cover.
That's what I did to it, an axe. That's what
right.
Will be the next one.
That's what you should do. Put a mask on and say, it's not human and it's got an axe, and then fucking axe it. And put the axe right on the part of the box that there's an axe on it.
And then it's Gary Miller. That's for Chris.
Chris! AJ Scott! That would be great. Man. Shit.
Oh, man.
So I placed an order yesterday for fucking Blu-rays for the first time in like 9 months.
Which ones? You're getting all heated saying there's no point to buy Blu-ray anymore because 4K, they're 4K and everything now. The Madman is coming out with a 4K. Madman.
I'm not. See, here's the thing. There's certain movies I don't need to order on 4K, and there's certain ones I'd like to own on 4K. For example, and I'll get into it. Okay, what happened is this. I got accepted for a new credit card. I've been working on rebuilding my credit for years now, and I'm finally at a place now where Credit Karma, this group, they're sending me these things, and I've been with them for 3 years now, and my score keeps getting higher. I'm getting closer to 700, which is fucking big considering where the fuck I was a couple years ago. Things that went on with the house. I had bankruptcy when I first moved home from Vegas. Had to do that because I couldn't afford the house because of what happened there. And then when I came here, because everything that was going on with the court to get the house I'm in now, I had to do some unscrupulous things with some of the credit companies that I was dealing with, and that I took a hit doing that. But it was either that or fucking I was out on the street. It was, literally we had to beg, borrow, and steal. Yeah, it was a beg, borrow, and steal thing to fucking just keep our heads above water and to settle this court case. So now, like I said many times, I don't spend money on myself anymore. I don't do it. I'm not buying movies. I'm chilling. I'm collecting money, not movies. So, and I'm still trying to collect money. It's not easy. But I just got a new credit card. Now, I've gotten 2 credit cards this past year, and every time I've done it, my score has gone up a little as opposed to going down for opening the new line of credit because I have so little action out there. I have some loans out there, and I overpay them. So I'm on top. I'm flat broke, but I'm overpaying everything I have. Yeah. I have nothing, but I'm overpaying everything I have. And a year from now, I'm going to be debt free. I'm not going to have the loan, the credit cards, everything's going to be thing. However, I know that the creditors want to see if your credit card limit happens to be 1,000. They want to see that you're using it, but they want to see it at a 25 percentile. So you want to have $200 on that card active to show that you're still using it. So when I get a new credit card, I have to use it for something. So I just got a new credit card. I put it in a couple months ago.
Oh, right? That's what we do. I got to try that too. I got to order a new credit card just so I can buy some 4Ks.
Well, this is what to do. So they gave me a $750 limit. And after you pay on time for 6 months, it goes up to fucking 1,000. And this continues on. And I always pay it on time because it's auto pay. So I'm just going to keep rebuilding my credit line. So when the creditors look at my things, they'll see, oh, okay, he has this many credit cards and these 2 loans and everything's paid on time. And, things are going to keep rising. So now, and I've always been saying this, even when these cards I have now are all paid off, that is how I'm going to give myself the luxury to buy a couple movies here and there. Buy the movie on the card and then pay it off slowly. Why not? So yesterday, and of course I fucking overdid it a little bit because once you start going down that rabbit hole, so I go to Blu-ray.com and I'm looking at things that I want to get and things that are cheap. So yesterday, let's see what the hell I did here. I gotta look back on it. It's almost like it's like a hangover. I have to go back and see what I did to myself the night before because I fucking. So, okay, here's my order.
I get that, though. You're like, why did I do it? What did I do?
Right? Okay, so here's what I ordered. Thanks to talking to you, and it's still on sale. I got the Friday the 13th Part 3.
Where's it?
There it is. Steelbook.
The Steelbook one, yeah.
The Friday. Here's my rule.
Nice.
Anytime I go and buy a movie on my credit card from Amazon, I'm always going to throw one Friday the 13th thing on there. That's how I'm going to do it slowly. You know what I mean? Because other things are down in price. That fucking box set, that red one, is down to $50 now. I told you it would come down, and they're all getting the other point.
The other one. I don't know where it is now. But yeah, well, it's weird. It was up really high. It was higher than the Steelbook version of it. Like, this doesn't even make sense.
No, it doesn't. And you knew it would come down because people don't want that. The other one's out, and you can get it at a reasonable price. They don't want that.
The 4K is announced, but you can pre-order it and get your locked-in guaranteed price. It's like $27.99 Canadian. But
I got it.
You did?
I got it yesterday. $22 for the fucking Friday 4K. Of course, I'm going to get the Friday 4K. But
Yeah.
It's not being released until September, so
Yeah.
Amazon isn't going to charge me for September until September. So that's just
Yeah.
something that's going to happen later on. It's almost like a freebie paying for it yesterday because you're not really paying. It doesn't come out yet. So I got that. I got Friday 3 Steel box, which of course is going to come here.
Steel box.
Steel, what's it called?
It's fun. I know you meant it. It's just the way you said it. It was funny to me.
Yeah,
Steel
it's
book. It's steel box. I don't want to be that dick. It's just the way you said it was funny to me. And I laughed.
It's funny.
A steel box.
So I got the Steel book at Friday 3. I ordered Friday 1. Now, because it's 1980, and that's as good of an excuse as any for 22 shots, I finally broke down and bought the fucking Maniac 4K. It's not the type of money I like to spend.
Nice.
It was fucking $35, which is unheard of for me to spend on something. But now I have another real reason, and all the ratings on it are great. It looks great. It sounds good. You know what? It's an excellent movie that I love. So why the fuck not? So I ordered Maniac on 4K.
Nice.
Now I go in a rabbit hole. Well, first of all, in a minute, I ordered Megan is Missing Blu-ray. Was real fucking cheap. And it's not streaming anywhere, $8. And I'm a big fan.
Oh, wow.
So I'm yeah, okay, $8, you got me. So that's that one. Then I had to order this one because it's coming out Tuesday. And it's a new movie, and it's X. And I really enjoyed X, and, Mia Goth is my girl. So then I go down the Mia Goth rabbit hole, which turned into something else. Because I do want to own all her movies. Number one, and I'm not fucking shitting. Every movie she's in, she has not made a bad movie. I will keep saying this. Go down her list. I'm telling you, although I'm a little concerned about this Pearl movie that she has coming out because it was filmed immediately after the end of X. Like they filmed it right away, Ty West. And I'm thinking usually when a movie is rushed that quick and they go right into it right after they finish a movie, and it's also coming out this year apparently, seems like it was very rushed, so I'm a little concerned about it. But whatever. But X is coming out. It's going to be arriving Tuesday, the day it comes out. It was only $20. So, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So then I go down this rabbit hole and I go, okay, let's think about Mia. I already have Suspiria. I wanted to get Marrowbone because I have it on DVD but not blue. But I look at the blues, it's $20, but there's also a 4K that sells for $20, but it's out of stock right now on Amazon. So I'm going to bide my time and wait for the 4K to come back in stock, and then I'll get Marrowbone. So there you go. So now, okay, I'm like, what else? Oh, Nymphomaniac. Lars von Trier, and that led to fucking some trouble. So I go and I get Nymphomaniac extended director's cut 1 and 2 as one fucking thing. So it's long. Altogether, you know how long Nymphomaniac Part 1 and Part 2 combined are? I wonder if it even says here. 5 hours and 26 minutes. That's how long this fucking is. Right? But I loved it. Von Trier, he has not done me wrong yet, and Mia is in it, and it's a real good story. So I'm like, okay, another Mia movie. And oh, by the way, Lars von Trier. So now that I look at Lars von Trier, I see at the bottom, people also bought these. Nope. And I'm like, oh boy. Well, Melancholia was there for only $11.77. There's no way I'm not going to buy that for that price. Have you seen that movie?
No.
Okay, well, Lars von Trier is fucking awesome, and you should see that movie. Okay, and then I see Antichrist Criterion Collection on sale, 50% off for $20. Lars von Trier, half off. I got to get it. So that's everything that's ordered. But I did that yesterday. Wow. It's not that bad. I spent like fucking 100 and some change.
I mean, I went down my thing is that I got that Maniac one back in the fall. I believe the 4K one. Yeah, it's great. Maybe I'm losing track. It might have been Christmas time. I'm forgetting it's end of June here. Close to the end of June, so it might have been Christmas time. But yeah, it's been great. That was great. And then I went and the Dario Argentos on Arrow, man. That was my problem. My biggest myth is this. So I got Hat of Nine Tails in the box set with the lobby cards, the poster, and everything else. I got
blue
Bird
or
with the Crystal Plumage. That's the 4K.
Okay, see, I got the blue
4K. Okay. And the bird with the crystal plumage, and that one I thought I was getting the limited edition. I didn't. It's the regular one, which is still great. It's 4K, but it's the regular one without the poster, the lobby cards, and everything else. And now I've got Deep Red in the limited edition with the lobby cards and poster, 4K,
Awesome.
and I got Phenomena that just came in the regular art with the. So now I love. Don't get me wrong, all great. They all look amazing, great sets, everything else. But that damn bird now is the only one it's a 4K, but it's not the deluxe version. So they look really nice on the display too. But I like having the extras that come with it too. But the bird one was really expensive, and I realized after I ordered, I'm like, I don't think I got the right one. So it's not like it showed up, and I'm like, what? What did I kind of realized, I'm like, but everything else was priced way too high. So on eBay, I lucked out and I found the lowest priced ones and with free shipping or $4 shipping, and it was actually the best place to find them because I saw the physical ones here, and they were expensive, and everywhere else I looked, they were expensive. So eBay had these pretty good deals, and they're the 4K versions, sealed, brand new, everything else great. I got that second sight, Dawn of the Dead. Just the 4K 4-disc one, not the 7-case one. So I got that one, and that looks beautiful too. So I feel very happy now. I heard Tenebrae's coming out this summer in that deluxe version. So I'm holding it with there, and there's a handful of other ones on my short list, but I'm being very particular. I'm trying to be very particular because it's funny because I was, on the show, I had mentioned, 4K wasn't necessarily blowing me away, but then I saw better, like that Suspiria one blew me away. But then I wasn't, like Christine, I wasn't really blown away by Alien. Nah. We've mentioned it, but I think that was just me being nitpicky at the time. And then I got The Thing, and The Thing I thought looked great.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch mine.
And then Dawn of the Dead, and then everything else just kind of, it just sort of followed suit. And I kind of agreed with you. Like I have a short list of Blu-ray that I'm like, I want these. I don't need them on 4K, but I'm like, but damn, if they're going to release everything for like Psycho 2 and 3, I've been wanting to get the collector's editions for ages. And I'm like, do I just hold off and wait? Because they're going to have a 4K version of them soon.
Yeah. That's just it. See, there are some cases, and it depends on what the price is going to be. Like, for example, the Marrowbone thing. The Blu-ray is 20, the fucking 4K is 20 or 21. I'm going to go for the 4K. Now, but there's some movies that Argento, yes, I want the 4K. Maniac, I want if we're talking my favorite movies, yes. Actually, Eric Webster just sent me a thing this morning, and I saw it yesterday, but I'm not going to spend $35 on it right now. I chose for Maniac instead, but like The Craft is out on 4K. And I love The Craft, and I do want to see it. But when I think about The Craft, that isn't one of the first movies that I say, I really want to have it on 4K. I do want to have it, but it isn't a precedent movie like on Argento or like Dawn of the Dead, which I forgot to look at, which you can't find on Amazon, by the way, unless it's the whole set. So maybe they're short right now. But either way, I'll get that eventually.
You cannot get the 7-disc set unless you want to spend an arm and a leg. Yeah,
I don't need that. I just want fucking Dawn of the Dead with maybe the 3 cuts that they offer. Although, honestly, I had them before on DVD, and my preferred cut is just the extended cut. It's fine. The Argento cut, believe it or not, I don't like. Just don't like it.
I wasn't blown away by it either. I mean, I watched it. I've probably watched every cut like on that set twice, and I think I still go by the original version.
I like the original. I love the original, but something about the extended, they added a little more to it that I enjoyed, that I didn't think was wasted. So, you know what? It's been quite a bit since I bought that DVD set, so I haven't sat down and watched them. But I don't want, again, I want to upgrade everything to 4K? If I had the money, yes. But there are some titles that I'm not going to run out for. Of course, The Craft, I have a good feeling. I'm going to look at the reviews, and eventually, if they're good, I will have that in my library. But right now, it's 1980 for 22 shots that we're watching. So I'm like, you know what? This is the perfect time. Now I have a real excuse, as if I needed one, to fucking get this Maniac one. So I got it. And there's some other ones, and I'll do it. It's just that, maybe now every time I go, I'll get a Mia movie. Or if there's another Von Trier movie I'll get, and I'll get an Argento. I'll set out and I'll have a plan.
They're you need to do it, but they're expensive. They can get expensive, like the 4K
so like every
ones.
3 months. Every 3 months when I pay off the cards, and then I'll do it again.
The Phenomenon I
or
just got.
Friday.
I haven't watched that one yet. I haven't watched that one yet. It looks good. I got the because that's how they get you. They've got like 2 or 3 versions of it as well. I think it's 2 versions.
Yeah, don't
And I got
bother.
the Art Original. I think it's the one I got.
For what? Phenomena?
For Phenomena.
It's probably
Yeah.
fucking Creepers. It's probably the cut version.
No,
of
there's
shit.
that. That's how they did it. So they did Creepers, a box set one with Creepers. Then they did the one a Phenomenon one, and then they did Art Original. And they've got that for all of their era releases. They've got like 2 or 3 versions of them. So even for Deep Red, they had the Professor
don't fuck
Professor
with
Rosso version, Deep Red, and then another one. No, it's same movie, same interior packaging. Just the covers are different.
But
and
I
that's
will
how
tell
they
you
get you for the collectors, because they know some collectors will want all 3 versions of them, even though the actual inside is the exact fucking same.
Of course. But when it comes to Argento, the theatrical is the fucking way to go. Unless it's the Creepers, which we know the difference.
Yeah.
For those other, like, don't bother with the Profondo Russell cut. I was so excited to see it, and I sat down, and those parts just slow the movie down, and they're kind of unnecessary. And it's like, you know what? They got it. Deep Red was perfect the first time. So I can't imagine. And the other one, there was something else I saw. It was extended as well, and I was like, no, I like the way he does it as is. It seems like with him, that's the way to go. But either way, but that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have a plan, a Friday the 13th thing, and maybe a Von Trier, or maybe I'm gonna go out and just set for certain things. This thing with Mia just happened because I happen to love X, and I was only watching it on Plex. It's not playing anywhere. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know what? A movie like this, I like the way it looks too. I'll own a new movie. Not many times am I going to buy a brand new movie. It's just not going to happen. But this one I bought because I really enjoyed it, and it's her. And I was like, okay, I'll just do this and this. And so I'm going to try to have a thing,
It would be nice to find out if they're going to do opera, because I'd like that in a 4K and Inferno. Those are the two. The other two. Four Flies. I mean, I'll get to be a completist.
Oh, I love Four Flies. It's my favorite of the fucking animal. I'm telling you,
I gotta give it another watch.
You do, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Because there's one that I thought I hadn't seen, but then when I went back and watched, I'm like, no, I've seen it, but it just had been a while.
I think it's fucking great. I think it's overlooked. I don't know, but maybe that was just the last time I watched it. But I think I watched it twice, and I came away.
No, I remember
my last 2 times.
I feel like when I brought this up the last time, that's what you said, because I thought I hadn't seen it, or was questioning if I hadn't seen it, and then I'm like, no, I've watched it.
So there you go. I got Argento
twice.
I got,
but not recently.
Von Trier. There's certain things. So I'll go Friday the 13th thing. So I'll continue this. This way I can spend $100 a couple times a year, do it and do that, and I'm gonna have multiple cards to do it in a year. They have to stay active. So I'm going to be able to do this, because what else am I going to do with it? I could buy gas, I suppose, especially with prices now, but whatever.
Not getting into that. Sorry, I got to write down Four Flies to watch. I have movies to watch. Yeah. I got a list that I put this stuff down because I'm like, otherwise I forget. Like, that's why I watched.
Yeah, buddy.
I kept wanting to watch Frenzy for the longest time again, and I kept forgetting to do it, so I just wrote it down on this list, and then it was the next movie I watched.
There you go. Another good one. Absolutely. Frenzy. For sure. So, there's something I want to say, and then I want to get into that fucking 2010 slasher thing, because I'm ready, and then we're good. We're good, man. I'm armed and ready for all that. So, because I don't think the reviews are going to be all that long, again. But, the mud flap worked, motherfuckers. Anybody that doubted me, the mud flap worked. Christian and Brandon, I had to send them a disgusting fucking thing.
I can't believe I saw that photo.
I'm sorry, but it's photographic evidence. It happened. It happened to me a few weeks ago. My wife fucking wrenched me. The damn thing was in there. I put a mud flap in.
This is true, everybody. This is true.
It's true. I put a mud flap in there just in case. I walked, went over and got my toilet paper, come back, pulled the mud flap out. And there's a little bit of something on the fucking mud flap. It did its job.
Something's right.
See? I know my shit.
I think this is why I think Brandon was ready to come back and then saw that picture and said, nah.
But there's a method to the madness. There is a method to the madness.
My
The mud
Lord.
flap worked. I always knew it might happen, you know? And if not, I would have had a mess to clean up on my floor or my rug. Oh, heaven forbid, shit on the rug. My God. So, anyway, the mud flap works. I don't want to hear nothing, you know? So,
Jesus.
now.
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
Indeed. I got a list here. I got the list here of our of all the movies from 1990s which we felt could be loaded into the canon. And I got to find it because I just wrote it down yesterday. 90s and post Scream. And then we're going to go into the 2010s, and then we're going to see what's what. Okay, so I do have a message about a movie, but I'll get that after. Oh, speaking of that, we have questions that we still haven't answered. They will be done next time on the birthday show, on the BS show. The birthday show.
Well, there's a BS show. Birthday show is a BS show.
Why not? So it's a BS show. Next show, we'll answer some questions that we couldn't get before. There's another one that was messaged to me that I didn't even show Christian yet. So, but we'll get on that. But and I'm being very liberal because I listened to this yesterday, and there was even a few that we weren't sure, but I wanted to make sure I had a list because I forgot, you know. This is what we have for 90s and post-Scream. This is all 1990 all the way up until like 2003. So this is pre-Scream, Scream era, and post. So you guys got more than enough. And this is what we decided. I believe there's only how many movies? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 21... like around 30 movies. Okay? Okay. And this is what they are. Lover's Lane, which we just said was decent. No one's really talking about it. We agreed it was decent. Okay. Cherry Falls. We both like it, don't love it, but we know people that do. Child's Play 2 and 3. Fine. Okay? People love 2, 3, give or take, but it counts. Maniac Cop 2. Okay. Being very liberal on it. There you go. Yeah, you do. You do love it. Being very liberal on these next two, but we're allowing it. I'm giving them every chance, 90s kids. Okay, First Power. The First Power. We included it. There's slasher enough elements, this and that. Lou Diamond Phillips, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. On the show, the way you discussed it, we said we could throw it in there as a gift. So the First Power.
Like as a gift.
I
just got to go back. I know you're trying to do a list. Watch Maniac Cop 2, everybody, and the character that Leo Rossi plays. He's great. I think it took me 5 times to realize it was Leo Rossi. Oh, his name's in the credits. Oh, it's that guy. I mean, This is Amazing Grace Come Sit on My Face guy. He's great. He plays a great character in that movie. Anyway, sorry, good, sidebar. Yeah.
No.
First Power.
He was the best.
First Power, I think you can.
Yeah.
We argue it will fit in.
Although I'm yet to see a 90s kid use that in his argument. But see, that's why we're going above and beyond to give the 90s.
What we do.
Slasher fans, the prom people, the Scream people, the post-Scream crowd, all of that, all the ammunition they could have to go against what we're going to come up with here. Okay, Psycho 4. Okay, we're counting that. Not so much a slasher, but a couple things. Whatever. Texas Chainsaw 3. Okay. Yep. Body Parts, which I guess is quasi-slasher, fucking new, whatever, like redefinition.
Mad Scientist. Yeah, it's like it was a mashup.
We're giving them that. Now these next are all slashers. Popcorn, Candyman, Dr. Giggles, the notorious Prom Night 4. We're probably the only podcast that would put that on, but we both did like it.
Yeah.
New Nightmare, Halloween 6. I'm putting that there because I like it, although a lot of people don't. Halloween H2O, Ice Cream Man. Don't even know if it's truly a slasher or not, but we're throwing it in there. It's been a while. The Dentist.
Clint Howard.
All right.
I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Clint. It is Clint.
Dentist.
The Dentist. Okay. Scream 1, 2, and 3. We're giving them all to you. Even a lot of people don't like 3. Whatever. I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Okay. Jack Frost.
Anal. Sorry.
Yeah. Urban Legend 1 and 2. We're giving you that. Valentine.
Use. Yeah.
Valentine, Shredder, because I like it, and Office Killer, because I like it. So there you go. That's about 3 movies. Now keep that in mind. That is the glorious 90s slasher era that people blow. What we just told you.
And did we talk about Final Destination maybe 1 and 2? Since I mean, really, at the end of the day, it was the Friday the 13th of of the
Right.
next gen of the 2000s in a sense, although death was the killer. So it's an
Yep.
unseen, and I know but then again, we've had some supernatural ones mixed in there too. So you can maybe argue that Final Destination 1 and 2 fit into that because that's in that first few years of 2000s.
True. I
2000,
just
I
don't
think
consider them
2002.
post-Scream slashers when I watch them. They don't seem to have that. That's me. If you want to throw them in and
True.
be even
Yeah.
more liberal, I even said that when we talked about it the last time. I was like, well,
Yeah. I think you're
don't say
right.
because it's kind of like just because the year they came out doesn't necessarily mean they're a post-Scream slasher. Like other slashers came out in 2000 that don't look anything like fucking that stuff. Okay, so if you want to write these down, to see how many there are, great. If not, that's okay. But here we are. This chart here comes from flickchart.com. The
I got
top
no
100 slasher films of the 2010s. So let's see how many we can load into this canon. And how many are slashers is another thing. Number 1, you're next. Okay. Want to call it a slasher? Fine, hard to say. But some people do.
I guess it's new wave.
Yeah.
New wave slasher, maybe. I don't know.
All right. Number 2, Happy Death Day.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Number 3, Halloween. That's, David Gordon Green, 2018. 4, The Final Girls. No question. 5, Scream 4. Definitely. 6, VHS. No, it's not a slasher.
VHS.
Yeah, I don't know why that's there. Was there one chapter that was slashery? Maybe. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't even. Either way. So it's just there, but forget it. 7, Maniac, of course. 8, Detention, which I still haven't seen. I know some people like it and some people hate it, so I can't comment. Okay.
Yeah.
9, Final Destination 5. So if we're going to include the other 2 Final Destinations, we'll include 5. If not, they cancel each other out to a degree. I don't know.
Yeah.
10, Happy Death Day to You. Okay.
I think it was less of a.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll put it on there. That's fine.
We don't have to be liberal with these. I think there's enough fucking good things here. We don't have to be liberal with this and add things that 11, Curse of Chucky.
Yep.
12, Bedeviled, and it's not a slasher. I love it. I wouldn't consider it a slasher.
I don't think I saw this movie, Bedeviled. I think I've mentioned that before in the show.
Oh yeah, when we did the top 20 thing from the summer series and you gave your rankings, right? You really should see it. Hatchet 2, number 13. That's a slasher.
Not Hatchet?
Hatchet was before
2007,
2010. Yeah.
2009. I forget in that range
Right.
it was there. Okay. So
Yep.
Hatchet 2.
Hatchet 2. The Collection, I don't think that's a slasher.
Well,
Is it? We just
it's
watched
arguable.
it.
It's like post-Scream. I don't know. The Collector, it's like a home invasion slasher.
It's more like
And then the
wasn't it
Collection-
more like Traps though? Wasn't it more like fucking Jigsaw type
you're right.
shit? Yeah, we
That
can't
was-
count that.
New wave. I'm telling you, new wave slasher. The evolution of slasher.
I suppose. 15, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Finally, some props for that movie. Now I like it. You guys liked it about the same as I did. A lot of people don't, but whatever. We can still
That
load
was
it in.
2010, right?
Yes, it was. 2010. 16, Child's Play from 2019. We all liked it,
Yeah.
right? I think. I want to say we all did.
I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. 17, Cult of Chucky, another one. If you're gonna have Child's Play, 2 and 3, Curse and Cult just kind of cancel it out, and then the remake even adds onto it a little more. 18, Terrifier, good shit. Just watched it Friday night. Yeah. 19, No One Lives. I don't know if I'm comfortable calling that a slasher, so no. I like it though. 20, Stitches. That's a slasher. That's good. The Killer Clown.
Fucking clown. Yeah.
Yeah. 21, Dream Home. Definitely a slasher and definitely great.
Yes.
22, The Town That Dreaded Sundown. Definitely a slasher.
Yes.
Definitely great. 23, Hatchet 3. Take it or leave it, but it's a slasher that people like. 24, Tragedy Girls. As much as I loved it, I'm not going to call it a slasher.
Yeah. No.
I got to be true to the game. I won't. 25, Haunt. Was Haunt the one that was more police procedural, or is that the one that you guys...
Haunt's the one that's in the haunted house where the kids go in and they get
Okay.
off.
It's a slasher. It's a slasher then. Yep. Throw it on. Okay. 26, Lessons of the Evil. Don't know. It's a Miike film. We're not going to put it on.
No, I don't know.
27, Prevenge. Was that a slasher?
Yeah, it was
Maybe.
part slasher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if First Power
it
counts
can
as a
fall.
slasher,
Yeah.
why can't Prevenge?
Yeah,
Okay. So
Prevenge.
Texas Chainsaw number 28. That's all previously known as 3D. It's a slasher like the other ones are. If TCM 3D is, this one is too. The Greasy Strangler 29? No. It's not a slasher. 30. Chrome Skull Laid to Rest 2. Slasher.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people don't like it, but some do. So I don't know. My Soul to Take 31? I don't know. Was that a slasher?
Again, supernatural slasher.
I guess.
If it's something like Shocker will be a slasher. My Soul to Take, My Hold to Take would be one too.
32. See No Evil 2. Not very good. Yeah. See, I don't want to put ones that aren't very good on the list.
Well, but it's there. It was a slasher.
Well, yeah, but we can't take every slasher because there was a bunch of 90s that we left out, like Final Stab and fucking this and that. We got to be fair. If we don't think it's good, we shouldn't put it on there. This is the 2010s versus the 90s, which was better. So you're not going to have turds represented.
Oh, I was listing everything for you. So, Detention I put on here. I haven't seen it. So I can't tell you if it's a good one.
Cross it out if they're fucking. If we don't know,
okay.
And if we don't think they're good, just cross it out, and then we'll reassess it. So don't write them all down. 34 Hellfest. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's a good slasher. Okay. 33, I skipped, sorry. In Their Sleep, I don't know what it is.
Nope.
It's a foreign language film. I don't know what it is. French Extremism? Wow, that's not there. 35, The Editor, not a slasher. 36, Ma, not a slasher. 37, Stage Fright. That's a slasher, and it's good.
Yep.
38, Hansel and Gretel.
That's not a slasher.
But not Gretel and Hansel and Gretel, but I didn't see it. But it says slasher film, but we're not going to put it in because we don't know. Knife Plus Horror is 39. That's more of a giallo. It's not a slasher. We won't do it. 40, Entrance. Don't know what that is.
No, don't know that one either.
41, Prowl.
Don't
know what that is. Yeah. 42, Husk. Isn't that the fucking Scarecrow or some shit?
Yeah, I think so. I think Jamie and Brian talked about this on a show like last year or something like that.
I think so
I've
too.
heard of it before, but I don't think I haven't seen it. They thought it was a remake, right, of Scarecrows. I think that they were alluding, if I'm remembering their show correctly.
Maybe so.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it though.
Maybe so. Okay. So no. 43, Final Girl. Didn't see it. Don't know much about it.
I saw it. That's the one with Little Miss Sunshine, I think, in it.
Abigail Breslin.
Yeah.
That's the one. Okay.
And it's not that great. No.
Okay. 44, a movie called F. I don't know what that is. 45, Silent Night. Yeah, F-U. Silent Night. You can put that on the list. People like that movie.
Oh, yeah, the remake. Remake, which it's not really at all, but.
Right. 46, 13 Hours. Don't know what it is. 47, Chain Letter. Chain Letter I liked. 6.5. Good enough. It was a honorable mention on my list. Chain Letter. It was okay. 48, The Task.
I don't know that.
Okay. 49, Never Hike Alone.
Yeah.
Borderline.
Okay. It's Friday the 13th-esque.
Yeah.
Well, it's Friday the 13th. I mean, but
right.
I wouldn't say it's a huge body count or anything like that. But I could see it being on there.
Number 50,
I like it better than the
Prey.
sequel that everybody blew.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah, definitely. 50 is Cold Prey 3. That must be the only one from the 2010s.
Oh,
the other ones must have been
I mean,
early.
we liked all three of them. I think I liked the second one the best. But I'll put Cold Prey 3 on there because we liked it. Cold Prey 3.
Cold Prey. Yeah. 51, Nurse. I never saw that. I think that was also known as Nurse 3D.
Yeah, I saw it. I wouldn't. It's a slasher, but no, not with the list.
Yeah.
Or slasher.
52, Christopher Roth. Never heard of it.
No.
53, Wrong Turn 5. Yeah, Tim Roth. Wrong Turn 5. Nah, we're not. It's probably a piece of shit. No. Terrifier's on there twice for some reason. Don't know why. Okay. 55, Victor Crowley. We could put that in there.
Yeah. We all
That's a good
liked
one. You know? 56, Blood Junkie. That was good, but I don't think it was a slasher.
Yeah, I don't even remember it. I don't think I saw it.
57 Pork Chop. Don't know. 58
Nope.
Choose. I don't know. 59 All About Evil. No. 60 is Yellow. Don't know. Okay. 61 I Didn't Come Here to Die. See, now we're getting into some other ones. Don't Go in the Woods. Another one. Breadcrumbs. Don't know. Suicide Girl Must Die. Don't know. Demons Never Die. Don't know. Girl House, number 66. That's on the
There
list.
we go.
Yeah. Finally.
That's for BC. I think BC hates this movie for some reason.
Wow. 67 Exit 33. 68 Teddy, It's Gonna Be a Bear. I don't know. 69 Black Rat. 70 Wreckage. 71 The Perfect Student. 72 Lost After Dark. That could go on the list.
Yeah.
That's good enough to go on the list. 73 President's Day. I really, really want to see this movie, and I can't ever get my hands on it. I've heard some good things, though, but I can't say. Then we have Evidence. I don't know what that is. Easter Bunny Bloodbath. Nah. Come and Get Me.
Fuck that.
Slasher House. Never heard of it. Death Stop Holocaust. No. Black Area. The Swiss Miss Massacre.
What the fuck?
I don't know. Pork Chop 2. Rise of the Rind. What the fuck? Jeepers Creepers 3. Yeah. Mask Maker.
Nope.
Among the Living. Was that a slasher?
Oh, yeah. It's about those guys. Remember, it's those kids that go out and those guys come hunting them down, but I don't know if it's a slasher.
Yeah, forget it then.
It was good. We all liked it.
Right. Nah, forget it. He's Out There. I liked that one. Did you see that one, He's Out There?
No.
It was good. It was good. And it constitutes as a slasher. That's fine. 86 Mara.
I'll put that up. I'll put it on for you.
Yep.
He's
Yeah,
out
put it on.
there.
Yep. Mara.
No.
I forgot it, but it was okay. It's not a slasher. 87 The Maze. 88 Bloodline. 89 Fender Bender. People liked that,
Yep.
didn't they?
Yeah,
Okay.
I liked it. I actually wrote it down in case it wasn't mentioned.
Haven't seen it. As long as we're doing that, put on Charlie's Farm, because that hasn't been mentioned on this list yet, and I would definitely put it there. So,
right.
Popularity Killer, don't know. The Sleeper, don't know. Snow White, A Deadly Summer, no. Shelter, The Summer of Massacre, Miss December, Hallows Eve, Last Caress, Medium Raw, Night of the Wolf, Killjoy 3, Wrong Turn 6. Okay.
There are some people that like one of those Wrong Turns, but they all blend together other than the remake one, which was a little bit different.
Interesting. Okay. Blind Alley. No. Symphony in Blood Red. Maniac from 2011. Shia LaBeouf. Found footage film. Huh. Wow. Don't know that one. All I know is Lucky Him.
Why Lucky Him?
Because he was married to Mia. Well, they're still married.
Oh.
They filed for divorce 6 years ago, and they're still not divorced. I don't know what that's all about, but whatever. Yeah, did you know Mia fucking? There's like video of her fucking assaulting him and shit. I don't know. They got a real very very volatile relationship. Which again, when I know a girl is that crazy, I'm turned on more. I know she's a fucking beast in the sack.
You must love Amber Heard then.
Oh, I love her now more than ever. I always thought she was hot before. Hearing that,
Shit in my mouth. Shit in my mouth.
I'm just saying, crazy. The crazier in the head, the better in bed. It hasn't been proven wrong in my life. I'm just telling you. I've always said it, and it's true. Hayride, I don't know. Axed, I don't know. Madison County, no.
Hayrides. I watched one of the Hayrides. It was a total Friday the 13th purchase. The guy looks exactly like Jason in overall. It's just like a bit bigger. It was watchable, but I wouldn't put it on the list necessarily.
Okay. Number 107, Sin Reaper. Don't know. Caesar and Otto's Deadly Christmas.
How many more are there on this list?
I'm trying to find more that I know are good. 109, Alpha Girls. Beware. Sorority Party Massacre. Below Zero. Breadcrumbs. Open 24 hours. That was good.
We'll put that on for Scott.
No, that was good. That was good enough.
He hated that movie.
Oh. Last Girl Standing. I liked Last Girl Standing for sure.
Yeah, that was I remember Jason Lloyd really dug that one.
Yeah, it was good. Ruin Me. That's your buddy.
We'll put it on the list.
There you go.
Although, yeah, it's slasher. It's a I think that's what he was going for, like a new wave slasher.
Right.
I think we all gave it passing grades.
Yeah, we did.
Preston to Francis.
Yep. Preston. Okay, Fright Flick, Seventh Day, Don't Go to the Reunion, Murder University, Lake Nowhere, Leatherface.
Oh, Lake Nowhere is that short one that everybody was blowing, but I didn't really like it that much.
Was that the one that took place? It's a foreign film, and the girl went back.
No,
to,
that's Lake Bodom, which I wrote down because that one was good.
Yes,
that one was
you
good.
have it already. I don't remember Lake Nowhere.
It was. I think it's like 55 minutes. Feels like it's way longer than that. It's It's literally old school slasher. They kind of make it look like they give it a really bad aged look to the movie. A group goes up and they talk in the house for a long time. Nothing interesting, and they all get off kind of one by one, and it wasn't very exciting to me.
Okay, maybe I've seen it. I don't remember. I got to look at my notes. I just don't remember. So we'll leave it off. Leatherface. I know you guys really like that one. Do you consider it a slasher? If so, then put it in.
No, I don't think I would consider it a slasher because it's more road movie or
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it was a slasher.
Stop myself from saying it for whatever reason, but yeah.
This one I like, The Windmill, a.k.a. The Windmill Massacre.
It was all right. I remember that being decent enough.
Yep. The Basement, # Hold Your Breath, Lizzie Borden's Revenge, The Funhouse Massacre. Put that on there. That was good.
That was
good
fun.
Enough. Yeah, good enough to be on there. Scream Park. Billy Club, I just watched it. That's worthy. Billy Club is worthy. Jack the Reaper. Jack the Reaper. Jersey Shore Massacre. Haven't seen it. Some people like
horrible. I saw it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Camp Dread. Harrison Smith. Was that a good one? No, that's not a
the original. That was a kind of a remake, or they used the title. I'm thinking of the original one that was done by the guys that did Super Troopers. Why can't I think of their name?
Oh, no. I forgot. This is the one I think we did for ABC's A Hidden Horror, Camp Dread. Harrison Smith starring Kyle Patrick. It could be the wrong one.
I can't think of the name. Those guys, it was like a National Lampoon ripoff. Broken Lizard? What is it? Is that it?
News to me. Broken Lizard, huh?
I think, or something like that.
I don't know. Community, don't know it. Mischief Night is good. I don't think it's a slasher, but I like it. The Gallows, boy, people hate it. Francesca, it's a giallo and it's good. Jackals, not a slasher. Cat Sick Blues, good movie. Don't think it's a slasher. No. Sloppy the Psychotic. I don't know what that is. Sadic 2, Self Storage. Self-storage sounds like a slasher. Shit.
I'm dying over here.
You're dying?
Yeah, well, there's a bunch of these movies I haven't even heard of.
Oh, well, that's how it was the last time too. Same thing.
I guess it's true.
Attacked on Set, Dead Time, Smiley, Die Delta, Delta Pi, Deadly Detour, I Spill Your Guts, Bunny Man, Charlie's Farm is on there. Girls Gone Dead, Bodom we talked about, Donner's Pass. See, I'll speed it up. Roadside Massacre. Black Christmas 2019.
Put it on there.
Do it. I liked it too.
It was again, it's not great, but it was watchable.
Right. Pinup Guys on Ice, The Beast of Zomor, Run, Hide, Die.
Pinup Guys on Ice?
Huh?
You say Pinup Guys on Ice?
Dolls, DOLLS.
Oh, yeah. I saw that one. I saw there are 2 or 3 of them in that series, right?
Really?
I think 2 at least. Interesting.
So the first one must have been good. I don't know.
I remember it being again. I'm not sure here, and I didn't make my list, but I remember them being better than I was expecting them to be.
Okay.
No redeeming, nothing standout, but more enjoyable than a lot. That's for sure. And Shadows Run Black and all that crap and Terror 10 Killer.
Oh, what about the movie everyone likes, Hills Run Red? What year was that?
Oh shit. I feel like that was in the mid 2000s. I remember that slasher coming out too. People were blowing that.
2009. Okay, just missed the cut. Yeah, they loved it. I liked it, but the end really fucked it up for me.
Yeah.
Okay, Beast of Zomar, Run, Hide, Die was good, but I don't know if it's a slasher. Creep Van, Legend of the Psychotic Forest Ranger, Nobody Gets Out Alive, Dropping Evil, Dollface, Cross Bearer, sorry. Some Kind of Hate. That's a good fucking movie. I don't know if it's a slasher, but it's a good revenge film. It's fucking good shit. If you haven't seen it.
I'll put it on.
Mischief Night. The Housewife slasher. All Through the House. That was a slasher, right?
Yeah, that was that Christmas one. The only one that I've really heard talk more positively about it was Watson. He kind of seemed to think it was one where I think they go around cutting people's balls off or dicks off. There's at least one or two castration scenes in that movie.
Maybe. I forgot. I don't know. The Slashing, Scarecrow, The Pigman Murders, Bikini Swamp Girl Massacre, Seed 2, Hazmat, Most Likely to Die. That was okay. Most Likely to Die, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was good. I remember that. It's passable. I'll put that on.
Okay. Ginger Clown, The House October Built 2. No. L.A. Slasher, After School Massacre, Death Do Us Part. OMG, We're in a Horrible Movie. That's nice. The Girl in the Photographs, Lumberjack Man, Face, Scare Package. The Redwood Massacre.
Scare Package
wasn't
was good.
bad.
I don't know if that was a slasher.
Which one?
We all like Scare Package. We like Scare Package, and there was the other one that came out, which was Fear Inc. They're kind of similar.
Yeah.
Both of those are good. I don't know if I call them slashers or not, even though
that's fair.
Fear Inc. is kind of set up as a slasher in a sense.
It's like a meta thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was two movies that came out that year, Fear Inc. and something else, and they were kind of slasher.
Scare Campaign.
Scare Campaign, not Scare Package.
Oh, yeah, Scare Campaign.
Scare Package, I didn't like. It was an anthology. Scare Campaign, yeah, put that on.
Would you call Scare Campaign and Fear Inc.?
Definitely Scare Campaign, probably Fear Inc. Yeah.
I'll put both of them on.
What about Masks? Was Masks a slasher?
Giallo.
More Giallo? Okay, we'll leave it be.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was great. I loved it, but Giallo.
Redwood Massacre I liked. Like a 6 out of 10. I saw that. It's a foreign
Which one?
slasher. Redwood Massacre. That was good.
I didn't see it, but I'll get to Redwood.
It was fine. I think it's Irish. It was fine though. Freak Out, Varsity Blood, Massacre on Aisle 12, Theater of Fear, Die Offspring Something, Berkshire Country, Last Heist, Idol, Suspension, All I Need, Night of the Slasher, Trick. Oh, that was the one that was more like a police formality. Trick.
Oh,
I
didn't like
Trick and Haunt. Okay. Sleepaway Camp 4, The Survivor. Fuck
you.
Yeah. 199, Slit. Dismembering Christmas. Don't know. And we're on the last page of this. Let's see. Just in case we forgot something, American Romance, Almost Mercy, Escape Room, Into the Dark, A Midnight Kiss, Don't Look in the Basement 2, Camp Massacre, Night Fair, Violent Shit the Movie, Seclusion, Slasher.com. We saw that, remember?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Curse of Downers Grove, BC Butcher, BC, huh? Someone killed Bill Casanelli. Into the Dark, School Spirit, The Crooked Man. Oh, Into the Dark. Those were good. That's fucking that Hulu series. Actually, some of them are good. Pernicious, I liked. I don't know if it's slasher. The Row, Knucklebones. Why do I think Knucklebones was good? Huh. I don't know. Yeah. Chopping Block, Hack House, Cut, Shoot, Kill, Bone Hill Road, The Ranger, Mother Krampus, Ditch Day Massacre, Capture, Red Christmas. There's one. I knew something else would come. Red Christmas got to go on that list.
Another Bill Casanelli favorite.
There you go. Good Tidings. That was okay.
I was not a fan of that one.
The Marshes, Clown Town, Trespassers, Lake Alice. Was that a good one?
Horrible.
Okay.
That was when I gave like 3 out of 10 or something. It was just brutal.
Okay. All right. All Must Die, Playing with Dolls Havoc, Christmas Blood, Extracurricular. Oh, I like that one. That was on my fucking list. Extracurricular.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yep. Mrs. Claus. Shh is the name of the movie. Killer
That
High,
was another bad
Incredible
one.
Violence.
I had
Never saw
that was on my lowest of the list one year. Shh.
Jeez. Bride of
It
Scare.
wanted to be funny. Sorry.
Wrestle Massacre, Pumpkins, American Fright Fest, Die in One Day, Romina, One Must Fail, Black Pumpkin, 420 Massacre, Making Monsters, Puppet Killer, Vengeance, The Lurker. There you go. That's the end of that list. And
Well,
I'm sure
okay.
there's others.
Well, we didn't have Halloween Kills on it. And
You
was it
would
supposed to be before? Well, when was it when we were going up to?
Well, I don't know. The 2010s.
Oh, so then, because I also wrote down Random Acts of Violence. But again, if we're not, if it was 2020 or beyond, then it doesn't count.
Yeah, I'm saying we're being very liberal. Even though we're giving them extra time, we're not taking the extra time because we're fucking cool like that. And confident enough that the 2010 should be better. But hold on. Let me look at my year
I'll take
end.
out Halloween Kills, but Random Acts of Violence would make it. Now, I liked Random Acts of Violence. I don't know if you and Brandon did, but I mean, again, I put one like Redwood Massacre you liked, so it's on the list. So Random Acts of Violence, I'm gonna keep on the list because it was a standout for me.
Was Dead Shack a fucking slasher?
That's the zombie one.
It was zombie?
We all loved it. Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. I'm just kind of going through my, my notes for the year-end things, like 2016 and shit. Don't Breathe, Invitation. Just in case there was something that was missed, like, I don't know. Scare Campaign. It was my number 21, 8 out of 10. Wow. Interesting. Windmill Massacre. There's another one. See? Yeah, they were on my list. But, I don't know. We may not even have to go deep.
We had 49 listed. 49 listed, and if we had to like take off like 4 that might have been questionable, that's 45. And what do we have listed for the other one? Maybe, well, again, when you work the sequels in, around 30.
Yeah. Yep, around 30. Yep. So the bottom line, even if we made some cuts, and you can make some cuts. Well, what would you say it would be?
I'd say we'd have 40, we'd have 45 to 30. So 15 more in the 2010 era.
So there you go. So 2010's win. And it's fair to say.
And let's be honest, if gore, if you are a fan of gore, they should win by default because the 90s was seeing some it was a very clean time in horror for the most part. It felt like it got sanitized a little bit. And then once the turn of the century, if you will, happened, that's when we started getting gore. And again, I think we've attributed that to both video games and TV violence or gore, like CSI at the end of the 90s, early 2000s, amping that up, and video games just amping up gore and whatever. That's why when you got Final Destination, American Psycho and stuff, we started seeing gore again in the movies, and it just got more and more and more. So I think by the the Saw series, whether you like it or not, helped propel that, and so the slasher movies started delivering where they were kind of lacking before that. You had to wait till you got the uncut version of it, if you were lucky.
So there you go. I mean, not to my surprise. Not to my surprise. We're better. And I'm sure there are more. I'm sure if I went through my year-end list of every year, I would find more, slasher movies that weren't on that list that we could look at and go with that, So there you go. So the 2010s, it's fair. We were more than fair, right?
I think so.
We did 2010 to 2019. And that was it. We didn't worry about the era. We're not saying, well, because the Halloween Ends came out, then that means everything that like Texas Chainsaw should count as one, and Scream, the new Scream should count, and this and that and the other thing, or whatever you want to talk about. Or I had slashers on my list last year. We all did. Totally. Wasn't your best movie a slasher like in 2020 and 2021? Didn't we have some high ranked slashers? Like fucking.
Well, I had Random Acts of Violence 2 years ago, and I mean Halloween 2018, Terrifier was on my list. top 10 list. Halloween Kills was on my list, and the stylist was off my list. The columnist, excuse me, was on my list as well last year. So we haven't even gotten to those years because, again, if you give like a little wiggle room there, there's definitely been more standout slashers. I still think
they're still coming out, right?
Yep.
They're still coming out, fucking even now. Like I know last year everybody seemed to like what do you call it? That new one. It was just on everybody's list. The one that took place in the theater, and
the Last Matinee, yeah.
Right, Last Matinee, and I really liked that one, Seance. And
yeah, I did too. That was a mashup one where they kind of make it seem like it's going to be something else, and it turned into
Yep.
No.
There's Fear Street, which had some slasher stuff going on in a couple of them. So I mean, it's safe to say what I've been saying all along, that the 90s are overrated. The post-Scream era is overrated. It is what it is. And if anybody wants to, please weigh in. Really, we want to hear. We did hear some things, But weigh in if you think that we're wrong about this and everything else, and that maybe the 90s are more influential. But again, that's actually my strongest take on it, is that when Scream came out in 96, there was not much more after.
Sorry.
There was the Urban Legends, there was I Know What You Did Last Summer, a couple knockoffs. Then they had like Cherry fucking Falls and Valentine, a couple others, and that spewed into the early 2000s. But really, you can't compare that to like what Friday the 13th did in 1980. Friday the 13th revolutionized slashers. And
it made everybody make a movie. Like, I mean, it's kind of like what's happening now because everything's gotten cheaper and you have more access to stuff. Back then, it was still not a lot of people were jumping onto video, and video really did have a distinct look that wasn't necessarily cinematic. So people were making these films, and that's why we've got that onslaught of early 80s, like 80 to 83, 84 slashers. And they continued afterwards.
Sure they did. Even later on, right? And you would still get a couple a year, kind of like now. You get a couple each year. And I mean, yeah, there's shit balls, but there was a lot of good ones. But still.
Balls.
2010 wins. Yeah.
2010.
Right? It's simple as that. So if anybody wants to combat us on it,
couple episodes now.
send us a message. Give us a voicemail. Message me, Dave ZEE, on the freaking thing, and give us a voice memo on your phone and send it in. We'd love to hear some feedback on this stuff. If someone thinks we're wrong and we weren't more than fair to the 90s, let us know, because this is a serious thing. How many people have come out and said this besides us here, that the 2010s are better than the freaking 90s slasher era? I've never heard it before. So here we are. But anyway,
let's jump into a couple of reviews, shall we?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, I'm ready.
I've got Phantom of the Paradise up first. Of course, the year we chose was 1974, or we didn't choose it. The randomizer, randomizer chose it for us, and it was 1974. Beautiful year of my birth. And one movie that was picked by the patrons was Phantom of the Paradise, and that's the one we're going to start with. And it was rated PG at the time, still is. A disfigured composer sells his soul for the woman he loves so that she will perform his music. However, an evil record tycoon betrays him and steals his music to open his rock palace, the Paradise. And I'm not going to apologize to Dave, but I am going to say that this is a good movie, but it's not a horror fucking movie.
Oh, I don't know. I think it's fair.
You know what? I honestly think I left out the option of doing Young Frankenstein because I didn't think it was going to be horror enough. And I actually think Young Frankenstein is more of a horror film than this. And even though that's a comedy horror, this is definitely a comedy musical horror.
Well, yeah.
Because, yes, it borrows from... Okay, go. You say it, because I was a little like, oh shit, I hope Dave's not mad at me. The movie looks great. This has Brian De Palma isms throughout, but I was like, oh shit, I don't think this is a horror enough for Dave.
No, it is a horror movie. It's just like a Phantom of the Opera. The guy's disfigured and he comes back for revenge and he blows the thing up. And yeah, I mean, it's still loose, but still he has no voice, and he's doing this, and he's trying to freaking. People are talking about trading your voice in for something and having supernatural things, and the Paul Williams character being able to fucking exchange himself for endless life. That's all fucking horror fucking type things. That's fine. I didn't think.
True. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Good.
that works enough for me. Just as fair as Young Frankenstein. I think it's equal. I mean, believe me, I'll tell somebody if I don't think something is horror, and I'm at that point now where, you know what, I'm all done with, and I'm not trying. People, every time you say something nowadays, they want to label something. They want to say, "Oh, you're a gatekeeper." Yeah, it isn't that I'm that. It's my personal opinion is, I'm all done with fucking movies being called horror adjacent or fucking having horror elements being horror movies, because it's simply not true. They're not horror movies. And this is what I thought about the other day. If you want to call it that, that's fine. Number one, thrillers to me are more horror movies than a lot of these other movies. A thriller is just like a horror, just some like a regular thriller. Some are real soft, but some are hardcore thrillers. Those are more horror movies to me than a lot of movies that that are drama, but have like a horror element here or there in them, or it's horror adjacent, they like to say, like Terminator or something. So it's like, I don't buy that. And the reason I don't buy this is because people, and bless their hearts, they're trying to do it because they love the genre and they want to put it on their list. So I'm not knocking them for it, but look at this. The Sopranos is a fucking drama series. Now, I laugh a lot when I watch The Sopranos. Okay, there are comedic elements in it, just like there are horror elements in some other movies. But nobody calls the fucking Sopranos a comedy. And if you're doing a list of the top 30 comedy fucking shows of all time, just to wedge the Sopranos in, you're not going to say, oh, it's the Sopranos because there's comedy in there. Because that's not true. So if I'm not going to do that with the Sopranos, why the fuck should I do with horror movies? Because yes, there's comedy elements in the Sopranos, and there's horror elements in some drama movies. But just because the one's comedy and one's horror, why should you give that one a pass? And I'll say that about a lot of things. And so I'm not going to do that anymore. And I'm really trying to avoid movies that are fucking have horror elements or that are horror adjacent. Though I'm trying to watch just horror movies, and believe it or not, I think thrillers are more likely to be closer to a real horror movie than those type of movies. But that's me. But that's neither here nor there. I was just thinking about this recently, and I wanted to put it out there. But yeah, it's horror enough. It's horror. Yeah. I would list it in the category of IMDb. If you got things to list, I would not have a problem with horror being there. So if I could say that, then that's fine.
Well, I mean, it does. I mean, obviously because of the influences that we're talking about, Phantom of the Opera, being one of them, and probably the biggest one based on the fact that it's in the name, Phantom of the Paradise. I love the look of it. There is some really cool moments. I'm a Brian De Palma fan. You know this about me.
Yeah.
This is by no means one of my favorite De Palma movies, but it's a good movie. It's an enjoyable movie. I enjoy watching it. I hadn't watched it in a long time, so revisiting it again, that's why I was a little worried as I was rewatching, going, oh, I like this, but like, did I bamboozle Dave in a sense? But I'm glad to hear that you're fine with it and it works.
No,
like that. There's that first person, POV. We get a lot of that here when he goes to get that mask and he's walking through the place. That's very Brian De Palma. This felt like a guerrilla style filmmaking in a way. What I mean by that, it felt like it was low budget, like go, like shit. Do we have a permit for this? Which is kind of funny because that's probably more Larry Cohen style and the movie we're going to be talking about later on. Right. For reality.
True.
But it just felt like that. Like part of this felt like a student film, not in a amateurish cheap way, just the way he framed stuff and did things. But I liked that, like in the fact that this was a theatrical production, that he had these moments and he uses his POV, there's split screen, there's the usual trademarks that you'd expect from De Palma. It's not maybe quite as polished as we would get 2 years later with Carrie, by any means, but it's there with comedic elements. But the acting, everything works within the realm of this movie. You're kind of put into this environment, and it's a little bit goofy, but that's the setup. You're sort of injected into this world, and it works. And that's what some great movies do. And again, I'm not saying this is a great film, but I liked my time with it. And I kind of was going back to that POV shot. Sorry, where he's going through and he's trying to have people are too like either busy to notice him, or he manages to get around people, and he goes up and he finds that mask.
There
and
you
he
go.
grabs the mask and puts it on. Really, really cool sequence.
POV
in the movie. POV.
There are two things that tie these movies together that we're talking about tonight. One that I thought would never ever happen. Both of our movies are PG. I don't think it's ever happened before, and it probably will never happen again. That's pretty crazy. They're both PG movies. Number two, they both have POV shots in it. We see POV here, as you just described. We see baby POV in the next one. Now, 1974.
Baby POV.
1974. Everybody likes to credit Black Christmas as doing the POV thing, and leading into this and leading into Halloween and Friday, etc. Well, these movies are made in 74, and they're doing the same damn thing. Same year. It's I'm not going to sit here and say and give Black Christmas and say, oh well, they're the ones that did POV first, so I'm going to all hail it. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And they do it in this movie too, and they're both PG, which is funny. Now this movie I avoided for years. I didn't like the title. The title didn't make sense to me. Grammatically, it was wrong. However, watching the movie, I understand it now. See, when I heard somebody say Phantom of the Paradise, I go, well, number one, that doesn't make sense because nobody says the words the paradise. You don't go on a vacation and you're sitting there on the fucking beach in Maui or some shit and saying, this is the paradise. No, you just say this is paradise. Nobody uses the word the before paradise. So it's a fucking, grammatically, it always threw me off. Why not just call it Phantom of Paradise? And I picture the movie is going to take place on some fucking island that somebody opened up and it's paradise. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Phantom on the beach.
Or that, right.
In
Something
shorts.
like that. But to call it the paradise always fucking threw me off. Because nobody uses that word in a sentence that way. No one says, this is paradise, or that would be paradise. No one says, that's what they say. They don't say the paradise. But now when I found out that the paradise is going to be the name of a theater, I guess. I thought it was going to be like a club or some resort he was going to open. But to me, it just seemed like a theater. But whatever. That's neither here nor there. At least it made sense in the context of this film why it's called the Paradise. Because that's the name of the place that they were opening. So, good. I'm glad I got through that little issue. Was the reason I never watched it, which is stupid, but that's how I roll. So, no, but I did like it for what it was. It was a good story. The musical numbers were fine. I liked Paul Williams. I liked
the songs were good too.
The songs were fine. Yeah, I liked the commentaries that were being made basically about the music business, which, if you know anything about it, especially at this time when there was so many things going on and people are being exploited and they're taking his work and they're stealing it and they're trying to do this, saying he was terrible, but we're going to take the stuff that he wrote and basically just rip him off and throw him out because he didn't sign the right contract with us. We're going to bamboozle him, which those are things that happened before. See, that's one good thing that attorneys are good for. When we found out that, hey, you can't do this stuff to people. You know what I mean? You can't just take their work and steal it for your own and shut the door and say you can't be part of it. That's when you need rights and paperwork and attorneys and dotted lines and things, contracts. That's when that stuff is needed. So,
and God damn it, don't sign it in blood.
Right. Okay. Now here's a question. As much as I enjoyed the movie, how come at the end, why did he go in that room and that tape just start playing right then and there and then show the history of him doing his thing and the signing of the blood with him and the signing of the blood with the girl? Was it just fucking convenience for the plot? Okay.
Yes.
I wish it
was. There's a few of that. Like there's shit that's just filmed and you're like, why is this even filmed? And like, I mean, it's just total plot convenience. I guess instead of showing flashback or whatever like that, they decided to do it in that way, and you just kind of buy it or not. But yes, it was. I would say
I don't buy it because I can't buy it because we said it doesn't make any sense that would happen. But I'm also not going to let that hurt the movie. I just wish that wasn't the case, and I missed something. So it was just convenience. That's fine. I mean, I love seeing Jessica Harper here. Because I love her. Yeah.
It was
You know what I mean?
introducing Jessica Harper too. This
I
is her
know.
her first.
Introducing.
So yeah,
Yeah. And the one
but
guy looks just like B, fucking Beef. Matter of fact, we should start calling B Beef. He looks just like that fucking guy. That was the thing, didn't he? The faces he
yeah.
made and some of the shit he did, it was great. He got shot by lightning. That part was great. The fake lightning that was actually real. They fucking really shot him. See, that's horror.
Well,
You know, they killed.
it's like the movie made a conscious decision to film everything on like a sound stage, like and have that look and that aesthetic. Kind of like the only other movie I can think of off the top of my head, which is a really bizarre comparison, is Flash Gordon.
I love Flash Gordon, but what do you want to say about it?
Just that comparison of because that movie looks like it's all shot on a soundstage too, like that soundstage,
Huh.
like it you know it
Ming's
a
Palace
similar
movie.
aesthetic or something. It's a very very weird way of doing things. And like I said, he almost took like a student film approach to this with some of the ways that he shot things, and again, not amateurishly, just like almost like lucid. Like able to I'm able to do it, so why not do it that way? And I kind of respect it for that. There was some interesting things, like for instance, like when we're talking about the videotape, I did read, like for instance, I guess when this was supposed to be taking place, color broadcast was not available until the late 50s, and supposedly this is supposed to be in 53, I think.
I thought this movie was in the 70s because the group in the beginning was a fucking retro thing to the 50s. I thought this
When
was
he
modern
records,
times.
sorry, when he records the actual, remember when he's in the bathtub
Oh, that.
and that part.
Oh,
Sorry,
true.
it should have been black and white, but again,
Oh, you're right. Okay.
but it is kind of weird because it's not like they couldn't have done that part in black and white and no one would have questioned it or thought about it. But
You're right.
just I guess from a nitpicking standpoint, when he films that part, it was supposed to be in the 50s.
Interesting.
So
yeah, it makes sense
color videotape or color film wasn't available there. But yeah, like I mean, I like the ideas of like him signing his soul to the devil or like to evil and not realizing it, and that aspect, because that's different from the Phantom of the Opera in the sense of like really more or less just having his music stolen and him being burnt in his vengeance or whatever, and then kind of reclusing there. So it's told differently. It's like a mashup of different stories. And again, it's not my thought process. I think it's just the way it was done. It's like the Phantom of the Opera, Faust, and something else.
Right.
I can't remember what the third one was that they said they kind of mixed in to make kind of like the story for this.
Stage fright. No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't made yet. But you know what? See, you have a disfigured killer, right? And he is a killer. I thought that the movie was going. I was very surprised when Swan discovered him when he did. I was expecting this movie to play out almost like popcorn, where things keep happening and there's a phantom and they don't know why, and that's going to make news. Hey, there's a death at the theater or opera even, and this is happening, and then at the end, it's going to be exposed. I know, it took me by surprise. I'm like, oh wow, this is already going to happen. We're going to find out.
Yeah.
And it was okay. It just took me by surprise.
Well, there's really no phantom element, really, if you really want to nitpick, because the movie clicks along.
True.
It's like you get introduced to it. He's like, I want to steal that music. I want to get him rid of they're auditioning people I haven't heard for months. And then all of a sudden he realizes that he's been wronged. He gets his head in a record press, which was quite funny. And that's what burns him. And then he gets his mask, and he's going to haunt this place. But he literally sets one like trap up and is exposed right away.
Right. Yeah, the bomb.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Like the movie kind of clicks along, but there's really no haunting or phantom elements like in the Phantom of the Opera, where it's like people know there's like bad things are happening or afoot, and they can't really explain it, but they think it's haunted. And then one stagehand has seen the Phantom or whatever. That's what is sort of played out in the Phantom of the Opera. It's not like that at all.
No, it's not. But I still like it.
To its credit, it works. I mean, it's a different story. It's not meant to be a play-by-play Phantom of the Opera remake. It's like elements are borrowed from that, and Again, I want to find out what that third one is, which I probably can do while we're chatting here.
But it was well made. I enjoyed it. I liked the way it was shot. I liked the music. I liked the one part particular with the when he was doing the split screen was really cool when he was basically showing you the same scene at the same time from two different cameras. You know that one part when that guy goes on stage and he's talking to the other guy and you see it on the split screen. But I
Yeah.
love shit like that. I think that's
I love
cool.
that too. It's like
Yeah.
that's when split screen is done really well. It's almost like you're getting another like not another scenario, but you're seeing the other angle of it in real time. I love that. I
Yeah,
love that
man.
aspect.
I wish there was more of that in film. Although it's probably not easy to do. I mean, obviously the timing has to be right on. Well, how could it be? Honestly, you got one camera here, one camera here. Shoot the same exact scene. I don't know. You just don't see it enough. I wish you did, and I don't think he does it when he does split screen in the other movies that he does either. I could be completely wrong on that. You would know, not me. But at least not in Carrie,
Yeah.
which I've seen way, way, way many times, more times than any of his other movies. So, but I'll get there. I'm gonna see Blowout and I'm gonna see Sisters. I'll
I mean,
definitely get to it.
he uses split screen a lot. Your specific question was whether or not he does it where you're seeing something happening in one element but not in another,
Well,
in
no,
one shot but not another.
you're seeing the scene as it plays out, as it happens in real time on two different split screens, like you did in that one situation here.
I think yeah, he does that. I think he's done that quite often actually.
You would think it's a cool trick, and you just don't see it much.
Yeah.
But I like stuff like that, and I like the use of the split screen. I like the way it was shot. The costuming was good. I liked all that stuff. You know, the glitter and the lights and just the basic. It was kind of like they were making him almost out to be like an Andy Warhol type character in a way. That's what he kind of reminded me.
Swan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird? They're all birds, Swan and Phoenix. Not all birds, but
well, that's his motif throughout it. And there's Death Records, which is hilarious because
with a bird.
You probably thought nobody with a dead bird, and nobody thought there would ever probably be something called Death Records, where really at the end of the day in the 80s, Death Row Records and everything. So
Creeping
it's funny though, like
music, death. Yeah,
there's a bird motif for sure. I don't know why I'm having such a problem. Where
Hitchcock. Hitchcock, he loves Hitchcock, birds, and how about the beginning with the Rod Serling narration? One of the last things Rod Serling did, because this movie came out in 74 and he passed away in 75.
Wow.
Yep. Which was cool. I was like, wow, Rod Serling at the beginning. So he was almost opening it up like it was Rod Serling spoke literally as the same manner he would speak doing a Twilight Zone. Like the commentary he was making, I almost believe that he wrote it himself because of the way it sounded. He was like talking about something about what the hell did he say? He wanted to open up something at Fort Knox. He said. Either way, he has that that snarky fucking commentary about his usually his characters that end up having bad things happen to him. That's totally something Serling would do in Twilight I and he did it here. And I was like, wow. That's really cool. So I respected that.
The third movie was more in a user review, so I'm not sure if that's where I saw it from initially, but I tracked it down while you were talking there, and they said they combined a picture of Dorian Gray as well, or a portrait of Dorian Gray or Dorian Gray.
True,
mixed in with that.
But the Swan thing is Dorian Gray. I mean, ultimately, I don't want to grow old. I'd rather die than see my youth go away and grow old. So I mean, that's Dorian Gray. But again, that's something that a lot of people have that attitude. They don't want to grow old. When they sell their soul is another story.
Well, no, for sure. And as you mentioned, both movies we've done tonight are PG. The second would probably be a little bit more gory than this. This one, the gore is non-existent other than the makeup effect of both faces scarred and burnt or aged or whatever. At the end, I'm not forgetting anything, right? There's no other gore in this movie.
No, because who else get killed? They have a bombing, and then they have the guy and
Yeah,
Beef getting killed with the electrocution thing. Who else gets killed?
yeah. No,
I don't.
no one. So I
Right?
think that's it. It's really just those sequences there. And again, not that it has to be gory. It's just
Oh no.
interesting because Brian De Palma never typically shies away from gore in his movies.
Yeah, I mean it does occur, right?
And
Yeah.
and this has developed a cult following. You don't hear it talked about as much as some of the other movies that have developed cult followings over the years, but it's definitely developed a cult following since then.
I
I
can see
mean,
that.
yeah, there's been. I I'm kind of surprised. I think there was a special release Blue for it as well.
I mean, the dialogue of the
It
heavy
helps.
is kind of cool. I forget the guy's name, the big guy that dies in the end because of the. How the hell did he die? Either way, I know he died. You know, his guy, his henchman, the guy that was always at the club,
Yeah, yeah. I'm
the
forgot.
heavy guy,
I'm literally. I
Italian.
just watched the damn thing 2 nights
Yeah,
ago,
that's
and
okay. It was
I
funny though
cannot.
in the beginning. They look like they were Italian. The band on stage, like the Juicy Fruits, and
Yeah.
they sing like they're regular, like Englishmen or any just. And then the guy's talking, he sounds like he's fucking Spanish. He's this and that. And he goes, this happened to his sister. He said, he sounded like fucking Cheech Marin. I was like, wait a minute here, this guy sings like that. It was kind of funny, but it's musicals for you.
Yeah,
But it was
and
good.
again, like, yeah, I, I'm not. It's not a movie I have to revisit again, but I enjoyed watching it. Like I said,
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to see it again, and like I give it a 7 out of 10.
Hey, so do I. 7 out of 10. There you go.
It's I know there's people out there that enjoy it a lot more, like those ones that have jumped on sort of the cult film bandwagon of it, but I'm just not like like I said, it's enjoyable. It's good. I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to rush out to see it again or watch it again
No.
anytime soon.
No, no, I feel you. No, but it's worth seeing. It almost has some type of historical significance. I had to look back at movies like this and when did Rocky Horror come out? You know, it's
77, I think.
okay. So
I'm guessing
this
though.
predates
Let me
it,
see.
and I'm not saying it's like
Could
Rocky
be
Horror,
wrong.
but in some ways,
75. 75
okay.
the year after.
So there
And
you
that
go.
one definitely got more of the cult following.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. And the thing about Rocky Horror is to compare to this one. This is a musical, but it's not a musical in a way like most musicals are, where as part of the narrative they break out into song. They weren't just singing to sing. When they were singing, it was because of presentation on stage and things like that. They didn't just like two guys weren't having a conversation. One guy taps my guy on the shoulder and says, "Hey, look at that car that's coming by. Oh, I want to ride that car." And then they break out in song or something
Yeah.
like that. So it wasn't like
There's
that, but there was music.
there's another, well, two things. The poster art that you can find, and I think is I believe it's actually the cover of the Shout or the Scream Blu-ray, is awesome. And the part or the scene in the actual film where he's tuning to get so that he can speak in his voice, that's really kind of cool too.
Oh yeah,
And it was,
and when he fixes it,
and it's a little bit creepy. There's a little creepiness there too. So I guess that
definitely.
like that part was successful or effective as well. But everything about this, I could see why it's gotten like a cult following. I was hoping to enjoy it more than I did. Like I said, it's good. I don't want to think I've come across negative, but it just, I guess because of De Palma, I always hold
Right.
up to a higher standard. And this is just one of his lesser efforts for me.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But I still dug it. Obviously, we both liked
Yeah.
it about the same, score-wise, rating-wise, I should say. So, yep.
Nope, for sure. And I guess that takes us. Was there anything else you want to talk about before we jumped into our next movie?
I don't actually think so, no. Well, no. There's nothing else we could say. No, that's it, man.
Here we go. I just didn't know if there's any topics we wanted that before I forgot, because I always rush us, it seems. But if not, then we're going to jump into the next one, which this one is another one that I hadn't seen this movie since probably I first started watching horror films, or I'm saying that I'm going by like maybe 25 years. I haven't seen this movie. So maybe not when I first started watching horror films, but like in my early 20s.
Okay, well,
I haven't seen this in ages, and the film is It's Alive, but I'll describe it in a sec. Have you ever seen this before?
now here's the thing. I have never seen it. However, this is the movie that has been on my mind since I've been young enough to fucking think. And the reason I'm telling you this is because, and see, they have the one trailer here, but not the one that's on the disc. The disc shows both of them. And unfortunately, it's not here. Damn it. This trailer, this TV spot, I should say, because it came on the television when I was a kid, is the first time in my life that I can recall having fear. And it's stayed
Really?
with me for years. And this movie came out in 74. I was born in August of 72. So you got to think about this. I was mite young. I was a 1-year-old. And I saw this commercial. I could tell you where I was, where the house was, where the TV was positioned, and where I was. Everything. And seeing this commercial, seeing this TV ad, and being afraid of it. And for years, it haunted me as a kid. And I wish there's 2 trailers. And what the one that you always see on YouTube is a longer, the length is the same, but there's a bunch of dialogue throughout of it. There's another one that's only on the disc, and as the second TV ad, and it just has the heartbeat and the children's music playing, and then it just says something about It's Alive. Hold on, I'm gonna play you this one because. Okay,
let me introduce it first, because I feel bad. Okay. I didn't do the total introduction. So we're talking about It's Alive, 1974, of course. And the Davies expect a baby, which turns out to be a monster with a nasty habit of killing when it's scared. And it's easily scared. I love that. And it's it's written and directed by Larry Cohen. And you go ahead, play the teaser or trailer.
The Davises have had a baby, but they're not sending out any announcements. Most new parents are a little scared when they have a baby. The Davises are terrified. You see, there's only one thing wrong with the Davis baby. It's alive. It's alive. Don't see it alone. Please. Rated PG.
Great.
Let me tell you.
Great teaser. That's what you need. It's funny. But it's scary. The poster, Dave. The poster itself.
Yes.
Just that image that you showed, that poster. There's only one thing wrong with the baby, with the Davis baby, and then they put the title, It's Alive. The one film you should not see alone. With that carriage, with that deformed hand coming out. I remember that. We forgot about this one as impressionable posters that I would probably add to the list of posters that freaked me out when I was younger.
Well, the trailer I saw, luckily, for years, I pulled this one up because I remember how much it terrified me. And I've seen it before, but I never saw the actual one that I saw when I was a child until I watched my Blu-ray yesterday. Because it has trailer number 1, TV ad number 1, and TV ad number 2. And TV ad number 2 is the same one we just played, except there's no dialogue. There is just the music playing, dee, 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 and the black background, and this thing slowly turning around. But there's quotes from like Playboy magazine and some other magazine of people that are like, quotes about the film. They like the movie. And then all it said is the end. Then you hear the heartbeat, boom, 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 boom. And then at the end, it came to the part where it just said, there's only one wrong thing with the baby. It's alive. And then it made that fucking scary noise. Wow! And then fucking, it's alive. Yeah. Don't see it alone, rated PG. That was it. So there's 20 seconds of that buildup of just that thing turning around and that baby music and then that heartbeat coming in and then seeing that arm hanging out. And then the way he says it's alive and that baby screaming, to this day, in my mind, I think of it as something else. I think of it's alive. Like a little deeper and a little scarier. But that was me having a fucking 1-year-old's brain and seeing this. But that is the first. How many people can remember the first time they know they felt scared of something? I was afraid, and again, very young, 1 year old. Think about this, 1.5. And it fucking scared me, and I will never forget it. And I'm so glad that I watched that Blu-ray yesterday, because it has the actual one in it, but you can't find it on YouTube or anywhere. But it's very similar, just with less talking, and always scared the shit out of me. And I remember telling my parents about this when I was a kid, and they used to talk about it with me. I was like 5, 6 years old, still talking about It's Alive and how it scared me. So it was like something that sat with me for a while. Of course, the movie itself, however, it's not scary that way, but it is played straightforward as a horror movie. When I think of Larry Cohen, I think of, granted, I've seen God Told Me To, and I've seen Q the Winged Serpent, and I think of something like The Stuff more than anything, where there's going to be a little bit of humor mixed in. This is played straightforward. Yeah. And I will tell you this. It was straightforward, and there was some downtime, and I'm not saying it's the greatest thing, but the emotion that I got in the last like fucking 5 minutes of this movie bumped it up a little bit for me as a father. Because, and the funny thing is this, you're going to laugh, and I don't give a fuck. What happens in the final
your 1-year-old brain
climax of this film? No, not that. But the climax of this movie, when the father comes to and he finally accepts, that this is my child, and the way he wants to protect it and everything else, all of a sudden, when all the whole movie was like in denial, that reminds me of this reminds me of my cat Lucky. And I'm going to tell you why.
You're right. Here comes the laughter.
Of course. But Lucky to the other cats in my house is an asshole. He's a heel. Now, I don't blame him for it, because he's deaf and he doesn't understand certain noises that are no means no. A hiss doesn't register with him, and a cry doesn't register with him. So he is a fucking ruffian. He plays rough. He gets on top of the other cats, and he bites their necks. And he's a boy, and he's a fucking young boy, and he roughhouses, but he doesn't know when he's gone too far. And as a result, the other cats don't want to fuck with him, and he spends a lot of time alone, especially Ginny, who's borderline hates him. But she has every right to be, because Ginny's a runt, and he really fucks her up the most. Her hair comes out and everything, and she cries, poor thing. So being that Ginny's my little girl and I adore her, but Lucky is my little boy, this is the thing about Lucky. He is bad to everybody else in the house, the other cats, right? So he has this reputation of being like a monster to them, right? But at the same time, he is also the biggest baby in the house, where I have to pick him up and hold him a few times a day, and he purrs. He needs babying from his parents like no other cat in the house does. Even last night, I'm going to bed. Now, Irene's gone, so it's just me in bed. Lucky comes up into the bed, right? Lays down, comes right up to me, lays his head on my fucking heart, and curls up and fucking purrs and purrs and purrs until he falls asleep. He is a baby. I am his father, and Irene is his mother. That is his mind. He is a big time. He needs that. And when he doesn't, but that's all he has.
I'm sorry.
No, yeah, it's okay.
I know. No matter what we're talking about, you could wedge a cat story in there somehow.
Well, because this is what I felt about when I saw this thing. Like, everybody else thinks he's a monster. Right? I mean, but he doesn't want to hurt his parents, and he loves his parents, and he needs their love. And that's how it is with him. The other cats, I feel bad for him because they don't play with him. So he sits there and watches them, and he watches them play. And I know he looks, and I know he feels sad because it's like Rudolph. They don't want to play with him. You know what I mean?
It's a live cat.
Yeah, they don't laugh and call him names, but they don't let him join in their games because he's too fucking hardcore for them. But so he leans on us all the time. We're what he has, and he's very close to us. So I felt that emotion when he comes to and sees this baby and says, I'm going to take care of you now. You're wounded, this and that. I'm going to pick you up and cover you. I'm not going to let them hurt you. Yes, you've done this stuff, but it's only because you're scared and everything else. And I'm going to be your father that you need. And that's just kind of what I thought about when I saw that part. And it kind of I didn't tear up, but it made me appreciate the movie more just because of what happened in the climax of the movie. I'll say that. But apart from that, it's not what you think it is. It's not a Rosemary's Baby type movie. And it's a killer baby type movie, but not in the way you would think. That's all I'm saying. But I did enjoy it.
Well,
there was downtime.
Again, it's a lower budget film, and I came down on like, Herschel Gordon Lewis, but those are to me were like no budget films with no craft to them. This has a great script, and it's got guerrilla style filmmaking. I know I've used this twice tonight, but in this case, if there was an out of focus shot, it was because they were go, 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 go. And I'm not trying to make excuses for it, because I complain about out of focus in Herschel Gordon Lewis, but I don't think he gave a shit. And I think Larry Cohen did. It was like, this is how I have to get my movie made, and we're going and we're going to film here. But if there was ever an out of focus shot, it typically cut right away to a beautifully composed establishing shot or something else that would sort of hide it and mask the fact that they were probably filming on the fly and needed to get some of those darker scenes done. I'm talking specifically like when they're in the sewers near the end for the climax and chase. And again, I'm not saying there's not downtime too, but I actually really enjoyed this movie. I was reading, and again, when I say reading here, I'm talking about really quickly, like headline reading and maybe the first paragraph of I think the greatest horror film you've never seen. I'm like, I've always known about these. I think any horror fan that is our age or that dug a little deeper would have heard of these. I don't think this was hidden. But for whatever reason, it was getting a lot of that traction. Now, when you look it up, you'll see a lot of those articles. It is interesting because you can whether depending on how much of a thematic element this is. Obviously, you can't not think that this seems like a anti-abortion film, in a sense, just from the themes. Like, you could almost play it off both ways. Like, is it almost like maybe they talk about abortion, and maybe if they had gone through it, they wouldn't have had to deal with this monstrosity. Yet at the end of the movie, based on everything that's happening, the arc of this character is, you could tell this is, they mention it in a line of dialogue that the father, John Ryan's character, he didn't want to have a baby. He felt trapped when they had their son years before.
First time even.
Yeah, and now like they had maybe spoken about it because it's much longer, many years later. But no, he feels like he's ready for it. But then it turns out to be a monster, and they've questioned everything, and he wants to physically kill it. So it also questions like a male's role in this whole decision, aspect of it. But then at the end, monster or not, he falls in love with it and wants to escape and leave. And the scene that you talk about with him talking to it and it being his baby, and he comes to grip, and you can see the smile sort of creep across the wife's face, realizing she realizes that he's not trying to destroy it anymore. He wants to protect it until, unfortunately, the end. And I will say, not to jump right to the end, but in our typical way of doing things, it's how we review things sometimes. I like the way they set it up for a possible sequel, which we know there is. We is
a sequel, but not even just a sequel, just
another one. Another one born, and they just left it at that. Drive off in the distance, and go there. Sorry for what were you about to say?
No, I'm just saying, but having no explanation, which is like what I like. It's like, okay, they didn't explain it. There was, again, they kind of got into the politics of it, which I liked. Them saying do this, and we don't want them to think it's from all these medications that we've been giving them, and blah blah blah. So you should kill it so they can't. So there's politics going on. They're coming from different areas and stuff with the police involved, which is another politics in its own right, coming from the law enforcement. So you have these different people talking to the father, all having their own reasons to either A, kill it, or B, trap it. And it's like, okay, that speaks upon like the politics of the time and of this time still, I'm sure still, but it's like,
well, it's very timely now. Yeah.
Right.
What's going on in the States
and they don't
right
explain
now
it.
too.
But they don't. That's what I like about it. They don't explain the reason why. Yep. Is it because of pills? Is it because of this or that? But they do explain it in a way at the very end with a throwaway line saying another one's been born. Almost like this is like a new epidemic that can't be explained, and yours isn't the only one. All of a sudden, monsters are being born to humans. I like that. It's a simple fucking thing without an explanation. This is just something that's happening. Which does happen. It's like COVID. It's just something that happened. You know what I mean? Maybe there's a reason and there's politics behind that, but I'm just saying bad things just happen sometimes without an explanation. And sometimes people want an explanation. But for me, when it's simple, sometimes you're like, well, this shit's just happening in the world now. It's a bad thing, and this is what it is. And that's what's going on. This baby was born, and now, oh, look, it's not a one-time case, because they're like, oh, yeah, in the history books, this is going to outlive us, they were saying. When we're long gone, they're going to talk about this Davis baby. Sure enough, he was the first of more to come. You know?
And the cool thing about all this is that you're right. They only touch upon things. They don't explain anything, but also it's the weight that John Ryan does. I think he gives to the character. He's instantly likable. He seems to be have a great outlook on life. When all the other people are talking negatively around him, he's kind of like disgusted by it, and it removes himself from the situation in a sense. And I like what they've done there. And I think that's what gives this movie weight. The acting, everybody takes it seriously, plays it straight, and there's a lot of weight. There's 2 scenes where he breaks down and cries, and you're like, wow, like it's emotional. If you didn't watch the opening credits and you just heard the soundtrack, I would be hard pressed to think that anybody would not know, hey, that's Bernard Herrmann.
Yes.
Because it really, he has his thumbprint on that score. And it's a great another element. I said, there's a couple of, a handful of shots that are out of focus. There's a couple. Well, the editing is a stylistic choice that they've done there, where they to get around things, they've edited it. So whether it be the baby itself, the attack sequences or whatever, but it works. It works for what we're watching here. And again, is it dated? Yeah, there's some things that are dated thematically, maybe not, but like stylistically, yeah. I mean, things that they couldn't get away with the budget. So when he throws the baby at the end and the baby like goes airborne and attacks somebody, and the guns go ablazing, it's an effective scene. But I'm not going to also not say that maybe I didn't laugh a little bit, or there's a couple elements where I laughed, but that birth sequence and what happens there is so effective and so horrific that will have to be one sequence in a PG movie that I'd say, other than maybe Poltergeist and maybe a handful of other ones we talked about. Tourist Trap, I think, is another one. Like, that was freaky for a PG movie.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Freaky. And if you were in the theater seeing that as a kid, probably scar you. Well, you saw the trailer, you were scarred. Like, you know what I mean? Like that. Imagine being in a movie, a PG movie, and seeing that sequence. The screams and the sounds are what make that so unsettling.
And his scream, the baby's scream,
yes,
fucking scary. It's the same one from the commercial. It's the same one from the trailer. That wow, it's fucking, it's scary, man. And
it's really unsettling. Yeah.
I like the family in the beginning. I like the son. I like the mother. I like the father. I like when they're going on the way to the hospital. Then, right after the scene. Actually, no, it's before the scene. The scene has happened, but we haven't seen it as the viewer yet. Could you imagine being the father, waiting for the child to be born and standing out there by the nursery, and then you see one of the surgeons coming out of the room where your baby is being born, coming down and then collapse on the floor dead? Holy fuck. That would be, I can't even imagine having that happen on the birth of your child. Like, what's going on? And, Ugh.
What about how quickly they jump on board with it? Like,
I
was like, what? It's like, oh, there's a madman or something. They took my baby. They're like, that hole wasn't big enough for a man to go through. It's a mutant baby. Your baby. And I'm like, but they play it so straightforward. Like, that's literally how fast they describe it, and people are on board that there's a mutant baby terrorizing this town now. And I was like, at first I was like, what? But I'm like, okay, I'm on board now. Instead of it being like some madman or whatever, like they instantly dismiss it and say nope. And then they throw it that he's traveling through the sewers. That's why he's getting around town so fast. And they have another Larry Cohenism, which is a bunch of cops hear a baby and they run around and they have guns drawn and they're aiming at this innocent little baby who's by himself playing in the backyard, I guess. But that reminded me of Maniac Cop, where like the hysteria that this has caused has things like scenes like that in Maniac Cop. The hysteria has like a cop just doing his job, coming up to a woman and she thinks it's the killer cop and blows him away. If you remember that sequence in the first Maniac Cop, shoots him because of the hysteria that having this happening in the town. I love that. I love that element in a movie. And Larry Cohen's done it, and it's been a staple in. And just but I think it's actually been a staple in many of his films where they've got that element mixed in, which is great, and that's another level actually, because you know that this is affecting the town, even though we're not seeing each and every situation that it's affecting, but it gives a nice little overview.
Definitely.
But,
no, that's great. It's
yeah.
And the father, he kind of goes in a direction for a while, and I stop liking him because I really like him in the beginning. But then all of a sudden, he's so quick to like cooperate and say this and that, and we're gonna kill it. It's no relation of mine. Blah blah blah. It's a mutant baby and all this shit. And I'm like, man, what the fuck? I'll say this: Rick Baker doing the effects. I like the effects, but the thing is this: not the way they filmed the baby was done so well because you never saw too much of it. There were a couple inches where you just see its head and it opens up and looks like it's a big head. And then other times you see when it's crawling. But then you just see a small baby.
He grew up to be Jay Leno.
Oh, you see a small baby a couple times, kind of further out. They don't show the baby too much, but they just show you glimpses of it. And then at the end you see that it has claws and stuff. And if you really wanted to nitpick, you'd say, well, this looks too big to be the baby that they show on the shot from far away. But I think the way they played it out, they didn't show it too much. They showed it enough to know what you're dealing with and the damage it can do. And that's what separates this movie from movies to me that are like goofy, where they're just going to show this freaking, like if it was a full moon movie or something else, they would just show this freaking.
It'd be like baby. The baby would be lit in broad daylight, like crawling around crazy. And I think you're right. Like they knew the limitations, and they're trying to film it, and I think they were successful in lighting it to give it atmosphere and mood, and to accentuate the freakishness of the look of the baby, and whatever. And this is why I believe into abortion up to age 14, because you just never know, right? Like if the kid acts up a little bit later, you got that option.
Right.
A little button. Exactly. A little button. Abort.
You have the right.
See you later, kid.
A little
See you
shot.
later, kiddo. Flush him down the toilet. Age 14.
Oh shit! But the thing with that baby,
that's my abortion segment of the show.
I'm not saying shit. Yeah, the baby. They turn what could have been a weakness in a different filmmaker's hands. They turn something that's a weakness into a strength. That is filmmaking. And I don't know how many people are going to say, oh, yeah, Larry Cohen's a fucking master filmmaker. Well, say what you want. But the way he executed this decision in this movie to know that, this is what he has to work with. Instead of putting a spotlight on this stuff, let's turn it into a strength, but not overplaying it and just showing the babies certain parts and from a certain distance and shooting a certain way. We know it's a baby. We know what's going on. That's all we need to know. I think it's such a smart decision of a filmmaker to do, which it's a nuance. Like what you're saying, Trauma and Full Moon and other movies, that would be the highlight. That damn thing would be on the cover. As ridiculous as it looks, a freaking rubbery thing that's too big to be a baby, and having two giant claws on its head are bigger than its head. Walking around, you're like, okay, this is ridiculous. And that's the difference. This movie could have easily been ridiculous, and it wasn't. And the way they played it out, it also wasn't anything about like, and I don't mind these kind of movies, but what I'm saying is it's not typical of a killer baby where the baby comes home and it looks normal, and then maybe it kills a nanny, or maybe it kills grandma, or the mailman. I mean, it did kill the milkman, which was cool because it loved milk, and that stuff with the milk mixing with the blood was good stuff. You know what I mean? It worked.
I mean, there is some low budget isms in the movie, but it actually helps maybe elevate its charm in a sense instead of being a detriment to the film. Like where I was shitting on the Herschel Gordon Lewis film before because there was just no skill or art here. Here you could tell they were trying to do stuff and work within the limitations of their budget, but to still deliver. No pun intended. But after watching this movie, I was like, I really want to watch It Lives Again and Island of the Alive again, because
maybe,
I was just like, no, I want to. I don't know if I've ever seen part 2.
I haven't seen any of them.
I saw part 3, because in traditional fashion, when I was getting horror, that was the one that dropped down into the video store. I remember the video box for sure. And I'm like, oh my God, part 3. And I would always do this. I'd go like, well, this is the newest one, so it must be the best. It was the way my mind worked at the time. So I grabbed it and I watched it. And if I remember correctly, because I haven't watched it since, I remember rented it with a buddy, and there's a dead guy at the beginning or in the movie, and his eyes blink. And I always had a problem with that in a movie. When we've talked about one of those other movies, it's a Christmas movie that we watched, and I remember it happened. And I'm like, well, why the fuck did they keep this in the movie?
Right.
And I've always remembered that, but I don't remember anything else from the movie. But I want to go back and I'll revisit 2 and 3 because there's something about Larry Cohen films that, got him. Like, there's a little bit more substance to the B movie catalog that he's got, and I think that's why he was able to make more movies than a lot of B movie makers, and in that sense.
Sure.
And he went through the 70s and 80s.
And there's themes.
Beyond.
There's themes in all his movies.
Yeah.
He does tackle political there is commentary going on in his movies. And definitely the stuff for sure with consumerism.
Stuff God Told Me To, you mentioned earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
It's there. It's there if you're looking for it. And that's what I like about it. See, that these were the days where if you're looking for it, it's there. And if you're not and you're taking it for a straightforward horror movie, did you just enjoy it that way as opposed to now?
Enjoy. Exactly.
Over the top. But I think I like the family. I like everything that happens with the father. I think it's cool that the baby has sense. It goes to its brother's school where its brother attends school, and then it comes home. And it comes home and it drinks. It wants to be with his family. It doesn't want to hurt its family. It's scared.
Yeah.
Really, scared is the word. It just wants to come home and be with. He doesn't want to hurt his father or his mother. The mother loves it. We don't see scenes of it, but she's defending it and hiding it when it comes home. Unfortunately, it has this ravenous appetite where it freaking eats all the meat and everything else. It goes crazy. The guy had so much meat in his freezer. I was like, oh, what do you prepare for? Freaking war?
Well, and then the guy they keep the son with, he comes over to help, and then poor guy opens up, and then the baby like lunges at him, and then he starts eating him. And that's where, I said, to avoid, to shoot around it, because A, maybe they wanted the PG rating, but B, they also have budget limitations. That's where you see like close-ups. You get a lot of close-ups of the teeth, 9 and whatever. And there's this one weird one there because it's nighttime that looks like it was an insert shot of the 9 a day, and it was just a weird insert. But it's forgivable because it's again, I know that they're trying to work within the limits of the budget, and it was an attack sequence, so it wasn't like anything like it wasn't an odd nonsensical edit. It worked within the realm of what the scene was. But no, it way more enjoyable than I was even expecting it to be. To be honest, I'm not saying was there downtime? I didn't feel it for in this movie, to be honest.
Just a lot of dialogue, I would say. When I say downtime, I think there was a little bit of not unnecessary dialogue, but just a lot of dialogue that a few times I checked out and had to rewind and say, okay, wait a minute, what just happened? Because I just kind of checked out. That's all. Yeah. That's all I mean by the downtime. It was paced like a 70s movie, which is it's usually a good thing, but sometimes it doesn't work for you if you're not in that frame of mind where you want to see a lot of dialogue. It's just, I don't know, it's just different. Where 80s were kind of like bang, bang, bang. You know what I mean? But it was good. I enjoyed it. Yep. And 7 for me, another 7.
Okay. I liked it a little bit more. I actually gave it an 8.
Nice.
Yeah. But
more next time.
Yeah, it was more, I guess it was just more surprising to me. It's like watching it for the first time again. And I really enjoyed it because it had been so long. And like I said, I don't think I've seen part 2, and it made me really want to go watch part 2. But I, A, was running out of time, and B, my wife wanted to put on The Departed, so I ended up watching The Departed.
Right on. No, that's cool. I think I'm going to watch the other 2 eventually. I'll get to them now that I know. I remember the VHS used to always be there for Island of the Alive back in the time when I was. When did it come out? Because it must have been around that time when I was.
I feel like it was 88, 89.
Oh, there you go.
To double check though, I'm just trying to go by memory of when I would have been getting into horror, more, feverishly, if you will, and then that dropped down and then going, oh, we got to grab this.
87 makes perfect sense. That's the
Okay.
height of my
Yeah.
fucking renting. This right here.
Yeah.
Yep. That blue cover. I
Okay.
said the sky and everything. I always remember. I never wanted to rent it. I'm like, what the fuck? A baby on a fucking island? What is that? Ridiculous. So I never rented it. But I always knew that it was.
I was the other way. I'm
part
like,
of It's
oh my God,
Alive.
look at that cover.
I hear. No, I could understand that. I could. But all I knew is I was afraid of the trailer of It's Alive. And again, I always had this view of it being really scary and shit. But then I heard people started talking about it almost like it's a B movie, but in a way of like where it's going to be comical or goofy. So going into it, I was like, well, let's watch this. You know, I always wanted, the trailer always fucked me up. Let's see.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I've either heard people just talk or chat or on social media or on podcasts. The impression that I've gotten all these years without actually sitting down and watching it was that it was going to be a goofy baby killer movie. But it was not that. So I was relieved. No. It was better than that. So right on. So that's it. 1974 is done. We got to do a drawing.
Oh, yeah.
We got to do a
We
drawing.
do.
You know, although we're not going to do it for the next movie, but it's still fun to do on the show. So next movie's a BS. So that much we know. Okay, so but I want to know, because it's always fun to look at the movies live on the show. Where is my randomizer? All right. 1965 to 2014. Let's try it. Boom.
2005.
2005. Fuck. I'm actually pretty familiar with 2005.
2005.
Because I did a show on it a couple years ago. 2005 horror, huh? Who will it be? I think we got some good ones.
We've got Wolf
The Descent,
Creek.
right?
The Devil's Rejects. What just happened with my internet here?
We've done the
What
Devil's
just happened?
Rejects. I don't know what happened. You okay?
No. Okay, that was the weirdest thing ever. House of Wax. It was so fucking. The Descent. We did The Descent because of Eric Webster.
We did do The Descent. Hostel. We've never
Yeah.
done Hostel.
No.
Fuck.
Hostel. House of Wax. Devil's Rejects. We've done The Cave. Wolf Creek.
The Descent we've done, that's for sure. Devil's Rejects, The Cave.
Amityville Horror Remake. Maybe we'll have to continue our Amityville coverage.
Oh, we got to ask the listeners. Do you guys want us to do Summer Sausage this summer? Because it's about to be that time, right? With Amityville, with, what do you call it? Hellraiser and with Hellraiser and, what was it, Tremors? Hellraiser and Tremors, Summer Sausage, or do you want us to wait to do it next year when the next Hellraiser comes out and do Hellraiser with a different one? Or if you guys want us to do Summer Sausage, we'll do it. If not, we're going to keep doing the Year of the Year. So let us know. I'm glad we said that. Emily Rose, Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Oh, the Fog remake.
Oh, God, I've never seen that.
Land of the Dead. Red Eyes. Saw. Well, we did Saw. Yeah, there's a good chunk that you could definitely choose for to have a list on.
Yeah, Venom, Feast, 2001 Maniacs. I like that one. Skeleton Key.
Cool.
Fuck, there's good flicks on here, man. We're okay. We
Yeah.
got some movies. We got some movies we can put up there. Yes.
Victorino.
Yes.
Well, looking forward to that.
Cool.
Next year's the birthday show or next episode.
Yeah, the birthday show.
The BS
Happy
show.
birthday. Happy June. Yeah. That's somebody's birthday, right?
Yeah.
First week of June. You know? So, okay. I guess
All
that's
right,
it
man.
then. Not bad. We did it.
We did it.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know what you guys think about the 2010s versus the 90s. What do you think? Should we have changed something? Do you disagree? Do you agree? Everything we said at the beginning of the show, please help us out any way that you can. And let us know about Summer Sausage or Year of the Year for the rest of the summer, as we've been doing. Let us know. And I guess that's it, right?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, well, everybody be safe. Enjoy the good weather. It's out there now. So have fun. Much love. Peace.
You should say, now, Rosie.